for baseball. You know what you're doing.
Exactly. What can I say? Yeah. So it's been really good. You're really busy. So this is what I think of Dave Shaw, right? So I think the guy's got nothing to do until it's tax time.
Oh, no.
So after tax time, he just floats for 8 months out of the year.
Nope.
Am I wrong?
You are extremely wrong. You grab onto the tax side, but Fish, you forget we are a wealth management firm, meaning investments and financial goals and portfolio management that specializes in tax because we carry the dual credential or multi-credential because we carry all the credentials we need on the investment side, and then we carry the top tax credential as EA, so which makes it very, very unique.
So if you got rid of the investment side and just did taxes, you'd have 8 months a year, you'd be free.
Yeah, no, that didn't work either.
So, hey, call me for more financial tips, Dave.
Something tells me you're trying to get me to retire, Fish. I'm not sure what's going on here.
That's not going to happen, right?
No, not at all.
So offline, we were talking just a little bit. You just got to go to a huge financial deal, right?
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about that. Where was it and what happened?
I was in Salt Lake City, Utah. We are, our broker dealer is Advantax, which is a channel of Cetera Financial. So Cetera is really our broker dealer, and they have about 12,000 financial advisors in the world. We're fortunate enough to be in the top 1.5% of all of those advisors in the world. And they had a conference, an investment conference there in Salt Lake, and had over 3,000 financial advisors there. It was amazing. What I love about the conference, and I always come back really jazzed about it, is it's not, you hear these other people, they'll go to conferences and they jazz them up about selling this, selling that, doing. No, it's a chance for me to get to sit down with some of the sharpest minds in the U.S. And in the world about decisions I'm already making, what I'm seeing in the markets, because what makes us different is we don't take a portfolio off the shelf to someone back at corporate made that portfolio. You don't know who's running the portfolio. We're actually managing the portfolio, so we're deciding the stocks and the ETFs and things that go into that, and so we have to be very much in tune with the market. So when I'm setting down and getting to hear from like Dr. Kelly, who is the chief economist for JP Morgan. That's a little company, right? So
yeah, those guys, what they have, maybe 10, 12 clients.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I mean, it's when you're listening to the people that Jamie Dimon is listening to, and with the trillions and trillions of dollars that he's entrusted with, and everything we're seeing all lines up. It's a good checks and balances because it's a reassurance that we are heading in the right direction with what we're seeing in the market. And then you get to hear from other economists and people that give insight, everything from what's going on in DC to what's going on in the markets, what's going on in certain sectors. And then the highlight was I was very honored, and we were talking about this, very, very honored, out of over 3,000 people that were there. They chose, it was about 20, maybe 30 veterans, and we got to enjoy breakfast with Admiral Grady, who just retired last November as the vice chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Wow. And that was a breakfast totally unscripted. Everything's on the table. We're talking veterans to veteran, and just about everything from what's going on militarily, what's going on in the U.S., how it's going to, even how it's going to relate to the markets and how it's going to relate to us as Americans, and getting his insight, because that man has more insight and knowledge than any of us do with what's going on in the world. But beyond that, it was just a great honor to be asked to be a part of that and sat down with him, and wonderful man. Really see why he was the vice chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So
this old bishop told me that that everything in life is like standing on a step ladder in a cornfield.
Okay.
And so most of us are standing at the bottom of the ladder and can't see above the cornfield, right? And then as you get more knowledge and you know things, whatever your particular field is, you go up the rungs of the ladder until pretty soon you can see things that most people can't see. So it really doesn't matter what it is. And when you were talking about him, it's like that's why he's at the top of the ladder.
Right.
He can see over the cornfield. He's having to make those kinds of decisions. And so now here is my Dave Shaw question of the week.
I had toast for breakfast, okay?
Do you feel set up at all, Dave?
Always.
So when it comes to finances, and you get to go to this, most of those people that you met back there, and some you knew about before you ever met them, they're really up at those top rungs of the ladder, aren't they? Mm-hmm. So you get a chance to go with them. Did you feel like going back and doing that, you stepped up another rung of the ladder? You can see things you couldn't see before?
Really, I mean, using your analogy, with the access that we have, that I have and our firm has, I feel like we're pretty high up on that ladder as far as, the information that we can see. It's really, it's more of just a collaboration of confirmation, if that makes sense. Because let's talk about the economy.
Okay.
What I've been seeing in the economy and meeting with clients, meeting with new clients, and managing their assets is, overall, the economy is good and the economy is strong. Now,
I believe that.
Transfer that to what we feel here in California with our pocketbooks. Most people are going, you're crazy, because gas is, $7 or $6 a gallon, and diesel, well, gas is $6, diesel $7. Energy costs have been going up, all these things. We have to take a step back and look at the global picture, really. We have to look at domestic, we have to look global as well, and we have to really understand one thing. So I'm going to give you the one thing first, and then we'll go through the economy. The one thing is California is broken. We don't want to go down the political rabbit hole, but the pain we feel is caused by the nonsense in Sacramento. They just did more yesterday, as we was talking about, because in 2033, apparently we're only going to be able to buy some kind of cheap tire that's going to cost us 10 times as much as they should. So whatever that is, but that's the nonsense that comes out of our governor and the failed leadership that has California, that they keep doing to us. Now let's step back and look at the economy. Okay, because we know what's going on in California. As I meet with people, one of the concerns they have is they've said they heard it on the TV, that we've been in this bull market and recession's going to get here. Recession is coming, and I ask them why they feel that way, and it's usually a symptom of what I just talked about: high gas prices, food, energy.
Yeah.
But then it's more just because they've heard it on the TV. They've heard the media hype. So, when I'm looking at the underlying things, I have to take the emotion out of it. I'm just like you. I hate pulling up to the gas pump and it's $175 to put gas in my truck,
Okay, I'm not borrowing your truck ever. I am never going to ask you to borrow that beast.
It's got a 30-gallon, it's a diesel truck,
gosh.
So you pop it in there and it's $175 to fill that thing up with diesel. But where I'm getting is, let's take a step back and look at it, okay? And let's look at the history of the U.S. Mm-hmm. In order to go into a recession, certain things have to happen. And let's look at what's actually happening. Well, first of all, inflation is actually coming down. Inflation is higher than where we want to be, but inflation is all the way down. The last report was 3.4%. Okay, you have unemployment rates that continue to drop. You have the producer price index, which continues to slowly move instead of drastically moving. You have consumer confidence, which is there. You have consumer spending that is going on, and we track that by what are people spending on. The data shows that people are starting to take vacations again and go on these trips. Also, what we're looking at is how much consumer debt is going up, and consumer debt is staying stable. It's not inflating, so they're paying for it as they go. So you see the discretionary income, and the biggest impact that we have is we have capital investment in America in manufacturing and such, which is all pushing us in the right direction and is pushing the GDP positive. So it's staying positive. Never in the history of the U.S. have we had all of those things going in the right direction have we ever ended up in a recession. So when you look at from a statistical standpoint, looking backwards, the chance of that happening are pretty much slim and none. Okay. Now, as I've told people, there's always the wild card. Something could happen in the next 5 minutes that upends everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I go back to the pandemic we dealt with in 2020. Yeah. There's always the wild cards, but we can't live our lives on the wild card. We have to live with what we know is happening, and we have to be very cognizant and aware of where the market is going, where the economy is going. And going back to conversations that I had while I was in Utah, things that we already know. Once this conflict in the Middle East is resolved, and it needs to be resolved. It's needed to be resolved for 50 years.
Yeah.
Okay? It's nothing
Yeah.
new. They're bad actors, and we need to deal with that. But once that straightens itself out, typical oil price that the market price is in is about $70 a barrel. We've been 80 and 90. It spiked up to 120 at one point, but it's been hanging just a little higher. But, we're not going to see, the market's already baked in $70 a barrel. Okay. So if we stay right in that range, market's going to flourish.
Good to go.
If price of oil goes back down to where it was 30 years ago to $40 a barrel, then the economy will even move faster.
Yeah.
But then we get back to California. Let's look what California has just done to go further negative. They have stopped, they want to stop refineries. They want to stop even energy production because the governor just failed to extend the nuclear power plant's term that it can run. So our grid's about to get overloaded again when that terms out. You got all the things in California going the negative way because of failed leadership. But when you look at the economy as a whole in the U.S., things are expanding. Okay.
Is that, Dave? Do you think that's? Do you think that the bad financial decisions, not political, financial decisions that the California government has made, do you believe that's what caused people to leave? And when I say people, I don't mean your average citizen that says, "Hey, I'm going to go over here and get a job in Illinois," right? Mm-hmm. I'm talking about business. Mm-hmm. And so if they continue, is that going to be a deterrent for businesses? Because you talked about manufacturing. Is that going to kind of stifle these manufacturers that's growing the rest of the nation from coming to California? Are they going to go, we don't want to go there, it's too expensive?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All of these things hurt California, in ways that most people can't understand. I mean, here's a common one. We all see this, that big Budweiser plant in Fairfield with all the big windmills and stuff closing.
Yeah.
It's all those jobs lost. Everything's leaving California. Businesses are leaving California because California is too difficult to work with, too expensive to work with. And, I get back to where we started. It is politically and personally profit motive, driven, because the people that are putting this stuff forward, you just look at this stuff that's going on, there's something in it for them to be doing these types of things, or they wouldn't do it. So, again, I don't want to go down the political rabbit hole because we could get lost there for days with where we're at.
Well, the only political side is if the people that are currently in power are not making decisions to better our life in California, pick somebody else. It's not difficult. It's not based on left or right. People want to make it left or right. It's financial. If the financial situation in California, that the regulations, and I hear from everybody, we're over-regulated. If the decisions are being made by our government, then they're making decisions that we don't agree with. I don't care whether they're a Democrat, Republican. I don't care about that. But financially, if you're making bad financial decisions for the state of California, and people aren't going to want to move their business here, which gives us jobs, then let's vote somebody else in and just look at what candidate will be pro-business.
Yeah.
Probably more than anything, pro-business.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because...
What? Well, say that again. Wait a minute. Did everybody hear that?
You're maybe right.
Darn,
No,
almost.
It boils down to California has got to learn to be open for business and open to business, just
Okay.
like we did here in the local government.
Yeah.
We can do everything we can do here locally, but then if the state mandates things down or does things, that hurts us all. At the end of the day, what we're looking at is, our economy is built on capitalism and growth and entrepreneurship, and there's this mantra that we're after big corporations, we're after this. Everything they put forward, they may target and say that's what it's going to be. It affects every business all the way down. And so we've got to put the nonsense behind us and get going, because exactly what's going to happen, and it's already happening now, is what happened back after the Great Recession back in 2008. California was one of the very last ones that came out of.
Yeah.
We're going to be one of the last ones that recover from this. And just take oil, for example. There's no reason. Oil and energy, we have the capacity to produce that right here in California, refine it in California, keep the prices down. Our leadership has chosen not to do that, but go the opposite direction. So we are bound to bring oil in from somewhere.
Somebody had told me that, Dave, that we could produce all the oil we need in California, but we're buying from somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes zero sense.
Consequently, if we're driving a diesel truck, that fish is never going to borrow to move anything.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It is what it is. So let's get back to the market over here.
Yeah.
So the people that maybe have fears of, when's this bull market going to end and when's recession going to here, really, that should be off the table at this point. You need to be cognizant of it, but it's off the table. And that's where someone like myself as a financial advisor comes in, because that's what we do. We mitigate or reduce the risk to try to get you the returns that you need to get you to your financial goals. And that's key, because a lot of times you go in and sit down and talk with people, and first thing they want to talk about is risk. And here's and here we're going to put you into this. Wrong conversation. The conversation should be finding out, Fish, what do you and your lovely bride want to do? At your age, what's on the horizon for the next several years?
We want to travel. We want to, right? I love what I do, Dave.
Yeah.
I love it. I love this community. But I'm telling you, throw my little bride in the car and let's go. Right?
There you go.
She loves to travel. She loves to see stuff, and I like to do that. But I couldn't live like that. Right? I couldn't live just traveling. So if you said, what do I want to do? I want to do what I'm doing, but I do want to travel. But I'm not borrowing your truck to go travel. I'd get as far as the county line and have to call you for a loan to get gas to go to the next place. That's crazy. So is there any as you look down the road of changes in California,
right,
do you see anything that's a bright spot, or do we just weather it because California is a great place to live?
Number one, absolutely. California is an incredible place to live. We have one of the most beautiful states there is, with natural resources around. It's really, we got to wait to be seen what happens in California, but it's up to all of us, because there's that little thing coming up in November that can change things.
True.
But
True.
we have to really look and see what people want to do. We were talking John earlier. I'll quote John Cassidy. He says, "We are an island of sanity and a state of insanity up here," and that is really true. We have a very unique community that looks forward with things, and we don't we don't typically put up with the nonsense up here. We want to do what's best for our community. We want to do what's best for each other, and that's kind of our key characteristics right here. I've never seen and been a part of a community that gives back as much as this community does.
Yes.
And we are honored to just be a part of that, and we've been blessed in the business, and we have just given so much back to this community and continue to. It has nothing to do with my political office. This is just who we are. And it's that balance that everybody kind of brings to the table. I know it there. I was looking to see if it was still over here, because Crystal might have left it over there, but the Yuba River Endowment was just in.
I was really tempted, knowing you were coming in, to put it back up there.
I was, and Crystal, just so you know, we were going to change the name on that from whoever it was to Dave.
No.
D-A-V. No, I'm kidding. But no, it's let's take those families. So I was going to say gentlemen, but let's take the families, because it's the farmers and their families.
Yeah.
They came together and saw an opportunity, and they are being a blessing to different
So
organizations
many,
and stuff, and students, FFA, and everything in this community. They are giving back. They are creating a legacy that is moving forward, and that's actually what we try to do with our firm as well. It's not just about today. We're creating a legacy, and if you think about it, when we get to the financial side and we're talking about where the market's at and where we're going, the question I was asked you, where do you guys want to go? It's really the true technical question is, Fish, what do you want your legacy to be? How are you wanting to bring this thing forward? So you can see how it's a process to go through, and that's just the process. We've gone from the market to process now, but we've got some incredible people here, and the Yuba River Endowment, those families, because it's not just the farmers, it's
amazing.
All of them.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Yeah, they are an incredible group. So back to the market, you need, and we were talking about this earlier, one of the key components that people have to disconnect from their retirement plans, their personal investments, is emotions. They have to take that out, because, as a professional, I'm looking at all the technical stuff, and I'm aligning that based upon what their goals are. It's not the opposite. I'm aligning their portfolios and the technical things they need to do to their goals. Now, with that, I have to take the emotions out. And so you get some stock that all of a sudden takes off. News hits, it takes off. We'll go back to the IPO that happened a few weeks ago, or it's actually been a little over a month or so now. But when SpaceX came out, okay, when that, this is looking historically. When that came out, they priced it. It shot up like crazy, and now it's way back down. Okay, there were people that wanted to be a part of that for other reasons than the market. They wanted to be a part of it for, just because they liked the company, they liked the owner, they liked different things. They wanted to, and that's fine. But again, you've got to mitigate the risk. It's got to be in a small percentage. It's got to be, very focused. And there's got to be the conversations of, we know this is going to happen because this is what always happens. Okay. But you have to take that emotion out, because if you take that emotional thing, and we'll go back to what happened that day, it came out and then all of a sudden it shot up by over 30%. Okay, your emotion goes, I got to get into this, I want to do this, and so you're jumping in, and then it goes the other way, and you can't invest in the market on an emotional basis. It's got to be a very thought out, deliberate, calculated, diversified, targeted investment strategy that gets you to where you're going to be.
So if the market goes up and down, and your emotions go up and down, it's too hard to time that. So they line up. It's
exactly
not going to happen.
Exactly. And it's great, because I always, talk to the people in the community, because they know what we do and stuff. I'm like, oh, well, I bought so-and-so, or I bought so-and-so, and I've done this and that. And you can feel it. It's out of the emotion. And that emotion wave, it actually has very specific psyches. Think about it. You got to get a part of it. It goes up. It gets at the top. You're thrilled. It starts to coming down. You're going, well, it'll go back up. And then it drops a little bit further. Crud. It's got to go back up. And then it goes down a little further, and you're like, crud, I can't get rid of it, because now, I've lost money, And so that's the emotional side. If you hear it on the news, or you read it in a magazine, or, if it's true and it's on the internet, I'll qualify it for that. But if you're hearing things there and you're trying to react, you're already too late.
Behind it.
Exactly, because we don't have any, nobody has insider information, anything like that. But what we're looking at is, a diversified portfolio. We're looking at the technicals. We're looking at the PE ratios. We're looking at the fair price estimates. We're looking, it's public knowledge that companies will be, what they're doing in the future. It's like that's why we listen to the quarterly earnings, but more importantly, we're listening to their future guidance because they'll tell us where they're going. And so when we're looking at all of that, really the moves happen way back over here before you ever get to the actual event. And back to what we talked about earlier, it's really, really important to work with a financial advisor. It's really important to work with a financial advisor that understands the market, that's actually managing things, that isn't pulling something off the shelf to do. So
years ago, there was a band called 10 Years After. And one of their songs said, tax the rich, feed the poor, till there are no rich no more. Right? And it's like that became a mentality. So on the news, I hear them saying, we need to tax the billionaires, right? And then apparently there aren't enough billionaires. So now they're going to tax millionaires, right? Pretty soon they're attacking and taxing the thousandaires, right? And so, but nobody talks about the trillionaires because there's only one, and so they really can't quit. But I'm just trying to say, look, it's like they come up with all these ideas based on money, taking it instead of thinking, we actually live in a nation where you can make money.
Right.
There are actually ways you can go to work, you can make money, and then you can end up with some money that you can give to somebody and say, would you invest this? Help me reach my goals. That's the truth. That can happen. Mm-hmm. The idea of I'm just going to go take somebody's money, that has never worked. And it's like at some point, it reminds me of when my boys were young, Dave, I didn't want to just give them everything. Even though I didn't grow up with anything. I left home at 15. I worked my way through high school. If it were not for the military, I'd have probably been a lost boy. I think I was anyway, but but that at least helped. So it's like I wanted them to understand there's a real joy in two things. One, go to work, make money. Mm-hmm. And then number two, begin to look around and see who's up higher on the ladder and go learn from them. Mm-hmm. I don't care whether it's your job or your finances. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, they have money, but they're not really sure what to do with it. And they could end up, to your point, where they just emotionally say, oh my gosh, this just happened in the stock market, I'm going to go grab that. And then they end up in a bad situation because they're not high enough on the ladder to see what needs to be seen. I do think it ends up being a trust issue. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, people trust 93Q. They trust us to try to get the best information out that we can, which makes me wonder why I have you here. But, did I just say that publicly?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to pay for that one. And so, no, but it's like, I want that. I want people to know what's available in our community.
Right.
And I want them to know. That's why I ask you, when you're around all these incredible financial people who make a difference in the world economy, our nation's economy, and being able to even look at the state's economy and go, yeah, folks, I get it. I just paid a lot of money for diesel, but I have hope. Because I know everything doesn't stay the same. It's all fluid, and it's like I wanted to end on this point, and that is, you talked about we're in an unusual situation where normally we come out of a bull market and it levels off. And you made the statement, we're actually going back into it.
Exactly.
Can you touch on that just for a minute?
Yeah, typically when you have the cycles of a bull market, you have the early bull market, then you have the peak of it, and then you have late bull market. And typically late bull market is where things start slowing down, and it just may be a slowdown, and then it goes back into another bull market, or it could be a slowdown that goes all the way to a recession. So it's that's where we were about 18 months ago, maybe 2 years. That's where we were. Again, what the economy has done with all the expansion that's been led by this administration and getting manufacturing going, looking at clearing the obstacles. And this is huge because we see all of these companies, and some of the media tries to really distort how important it's did in companies and manufacturing and stuff. That is what leads to a resilient economy and better jobs, better wages, everything. It all gets there, but you have to have the investment first. So with that, with all the mechanisms that's gone into place to bring down unemployment, bring down inflation, get everything back, our market cycle, there is a clear-cut case that it has moved from kind of late bull back more to the peak of the bull cycle. And so very optimistic, as I always am on the market, but at the same time, it gets into those rules. You have to be very diversified. You got to be very purposeful. You got to know what's in that portfolio and why it's in there. And but I think we've still got great days ahead of us. We do have the pain of oil, and unfortunately in California, oil and energy, we're not because of really what's going on in the market and the economy, but because of California, we're probably going to feel that pain longer than the rest of the nation.
Yeah. All right.
So,
like I said, I'm not borrowing your truck unless I get your gas card with it. Dave, thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Fish.
This community interview is made possible by Shaw and Associates.
I'm Dave Shaw, President and CEO of Shaw and Associates. For over 70 years, Shaw and Associates has been your trusted experts for wealth management, tax, accounting, and payroll. We change lives and inspire true wealth, one person, one family, one business at a time. Shaw and Associates is a wealth management investment firm that specializes in
Shaw and Associates.
I'm Dave Shaw, President and CEO of Shaw & Associates. For over 70 years, Shaw & Associates has been your trusted experts for wealth management, tax, accounting, and payroll. We change lives and inspire true wealth, one person, one family, one business at a time. Shaw & Associates is a wealth management investment firm that specializes in taxes, serving as a fiduciary, putting your interests first. You can find more information or schedule an appointment by calling 530-674-1150 or on the web at shawassociatesinc.com. Shaw & Associates is proud to support community radio.
And we're grateful for the support for community radio. If you'd like to support community radio, you just go to 93qradio.com and hit the donate button. Well, this morning, my 9 o'clock interview is with Chris Matthews, and I have found a fellow soldier in Let's Help Other People.
That is what I wake up, live, eat, and breathe. Honestly, that is the goal.
It's like I want my life to be good, but I'd like the life of everybody around me to be good, right?
Why not share the love?
Yeah, and then there's just certain things that we can do to help others. So, Chris, it's called Sutter Butte Social Club. I have no idea what that is and how I become a member and what are the dues.
Well, first off, there are no dues. It's just showing up to help. So, yeah. A while ago, about 15 years ago, I joined a group that was called the Active 2030 Club. It's a national organization, but most importantly, it was only 20 to 39-year-old men. They formed a women's club next to us, but as we were aging out, as we were running out of members, and as the women's club and the guys' club were separated, I realized that we needed to make a change. And the way that change was very simple. We make our own thing. We go completely on our own. We created the Sutter Butte Social Club. There's no age limit. There's no gender. All are welcome. Anyone that wants to help kids. And that's our primary mission, is helping the underserved youth in the Yuba Sutter area. We've raised a lot of money over the past couple of years, but it took us 3 years to finally get to go back to doing what we were doing long ago, before COVID, before all of that died. But that's the Kohl's Back to School Shopping Spree, which we just got to do just a little under a month ago. So we partnered with Kohl's and also the Early Risers Kiwanis. So they provided breakfast for us.
Folks.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Once again, Tom and all of your people, thank you so much for your help. They even brought 2 bikes to raffle off to our kids. But we had 53 kids, local kids, and I'm talking we had 14 different schools in our area, all the way from Linda to Calusa and so on.
Wow.
And we took took them through Kohl's. They each got about $125 worth of merchandise, and we're talking clothes, backpacks, shoes, underwear, jackets, things that they needed. Whatever they needed. So they had a personal shopper wandering around with them. We were there for about an hour. We had 70-something volunteers with 53 kids. So we had too many volunteers, which, cool. I mean, what a magical experience that is. So we had couples, married couples, walking around with a single kid. And what an experience for the kid, too, because then they're probably walking around with their brother on the other side of the store and their sister, near them. But they get a personal shopper or two. Yeah. And it's all about them. And it's the things that they need. And a little personal anecdote. It was about 15 years ago that I did that. I volunteered for that event. I walked a kid through. I was a little verklempt walking back out with handing him off to his mom with a bag of clothes. And I thought I gotta join. So I joined back then, and then that stuck with me now, and I have to continue being part of it for as long as I can.
I know people think it's a cliche, but there is a Bible verse that said it's more blessed to give than to receive. And the experience of seeing somebody's life changed by a simple act of giving, it's a mind boggler. And some things we give to, it's not actually you're a participant. Maybe you give so much money a month, right? Or maybe even it's an organization like Compassion International where you're supporting a child that lives in another country, right? But when you are in a place where you're actually seeing that giving, and we've got a lot of stuff in our area that does that, where it's literally you get to see it, and it just changes you. It just changes you. It's like, that was so awesome. I want to do that again. So you ended up doing it again and again and again.
And again and again.
You're addicted. Chris, you're addicted to giving.
I've been told that I have an addictive personality, so I guess I'll take this one as opposed to some alternatives.
If you're going to be addicted, be addicted to giving.
Yeah. It definitely is the magic. It bleeds into your everyday life. And we left immediately to go on a vacation the very next day. But I got to feel that giving spirit, for the whole week while we're relaxing in Hawaii, and I'm thinking about how fun that was that we helped all those kids.
You're like tipping bigger than normal. It's like,
I got those Hawaiian servers really need it.
So, all right. So you guys were part of the East Nicholas Labor Day Parade last year, and was that a fundraiser? What you did there? It was
a fundraiser.
What were you doing?
Yeah, so it was a fundraiser, but we were primarily labor and logistics. So they have a beer garden down there. By the way, the Labor Day Parade at East Nicholas is one of the most fun things that I have done in our area.
It's going to be my first
plug
time.
For them.
They've asked me to MC it.
Oh, even better.
And so, those girls could talk me into anything.
Yes.
They could have said, we want you to come and wear a chipmunk costume. I'd have probably said yes.
You could be Chip and I can be Dale. I'm in.
There you go.
Yeah, no problem.
God, I remember those guys.
Yeah, right? So
how did you guys get involved in that?
Well, so luckily Megan Reese, who's one of the people that handle all of that, we were lucky enough to have her join us. She is a whiz at a lot of different things, but she's now part of the Sutter Butte Social Club. And I guess technically her awesome husband, hopefully counts. Anyway, so she asked us for help. And basically what we did was the Sutter Butte Social Club paid for the... we partnered with the Happy Viking, and they give us cost on the alcohol itself. Oh. So we use some of our funds for that, and that goes to the event, and then that event they sell the alcohol, and the profit goes to them. And that helps the 4 schools. I'm not as skilled to know all of them. I know Markham, I know East Nick High School, and so on. So there are 4 schools in the East Nick area, and they split the pot 4 ways. I don't have the number offhand, but I know it was a lot of money for those schools, and we believe it fits our mission statement because if there are kids that are helped in that school that are underserved, then we did our part, and our small amount of money turned into a much larger amount of money just from our labor. The Happy Vikings amazing beer trailer. Thank you, Chris and Sandy.
Yeah.
And then the volunteers that were provided to us by the East Nick people. So
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
So Happy Viking has a beer trailer?
Oh my.
Come
Well,
on.
they
that
have
was-
two.
How could I not know that?
So they have one beer trailer that is very fancy, pretty
Yeah.
nice. It's got a bunch of tap handles. It's beautiful, but it's small. Chris wanted, let's say, a couple TVs. What if you want to watch two different sporting
Come
events
on,
and
Chris.
maybe have some music? So of course he had to get a bigger one. So he has an immensely gorgeous beer trailer that he uses for catering or volunteer efforts like this. You'll see it at the U.S. Sutter Brew Fest. You'll see it at the East Nick Parade. Two TVs, as long as the signal isn't interrupted by a tree in the way. Two sporting events. We'll watch golf and football. It's pretty magical. He's got a bar that comes out next to it, and so you can belly up to the bar of the Happy Viking remotely. From a golf course,
That's such
from
a
a
great
wedding.
idea.
It's a great idea.
Well, he's a brilliant guy.
Yeah.
That guy, he just, he's not just, I'm the cook. He's like way beyond that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What a great guy. So you guys, we do the announcing for the Freebirds games out at Bryant Field, and Bryant Field does other stuff, and you guys are actually having an event. Now, is that a fundraiser for you guys?
This one is our only true main fundraiser that is
Okay.
just us. That
All
we're
right.
partnering with no
What's
one
that
else.
called? How do you do it?
Yep, it's called the U.S. Sutter Brew Fest. Hopefully, many in the area have heard about it. But we partner with several local area, California and its surrounding area breweries, and then a few restaurants locally. And one ticket gets you the tastings and some food options, all covered, all part of the thing, all basically unlimited. And that's our primary fundraiser. Last year we made almost $10,000 after
Wow.
the 2 years prior was not great. So,
Yeah, anything you start, it's like, and then people have to, get used to the idea of,
Yeah.
okay, this is why it's fun.
Right, and there was a 3-4 year hiatus due to COVID, and we had to recalibrate, rejigger. We used to do it at the fairgrounds, but they were full. We understand, so we went elsewhere, and luckily, the people that are running Marysville right now could not be more interested in helping out the community.
Isn't that cool?
And helping an events like this happen. I wouldn't say rubber stamping, but they are definitely opening the doors to this town, which is great because it's where I was born and raised. So I love seeing our town be open to this. So the way the Yuba Sutter Brew Fest works, you buy a ticket. That is your only time you ever bring your wallet out. Right now, tickets are on sale for $60. You walk in. Last year we had 14 breweries, plus the Happy Viking had another 8-9 taps on display on pour. We also had 2 cideries, and then we had, I think it was 5 restaurants last year. Maybe it was 6. And you're there for 4 to 5 hours, depending on if you buy that extra hour to help us out a little bit more. It's a great time. It's really fantastic. We also have a DJ playing music, so you have a little ambiance there, and it's a great time. And the most important part is it all is to charity. So it's a lot of different beers. A lot of different beers.
So you'd have an opportunity.
Yes.
Like if you were like, I drink beer, but
yeah. Well, let's take a journey.
I haven't really tried different. So now, if I go to that, I get an opportunity to try a lot of different beers.
I dare you to try them all. I don't think you have time.
Oh, yeah.
So there are generally 2 different beer drinkers in the world. Those that really want to try a bunch of different ones. I think you can see by the screen that I'm that category of beers. I'm down to try anything. Rarely have I found a beer that I won't agree with. This is my dream come true, right? To have a list that I can read you out. But then there's the other type, call it my dad, the Coors Light only drinkers. Well, he still goes to this event and he still loves it because the breweries understand they're trying to break into the Coors Light market here, or in Sutter, call it the Coors Yellow Belly market. They're trying to break into that to get people to try something new. So you go to this brew fest, unlikely you're going to find Coors Light, but you're going to find a lot of alternatives that I believe are better. And so people can expand their horizons in that way and go to find something that they end up enjoying and buying in the grocery store next time they see it.
At a point when I drank, right, I was in the Philippines and they had San Miguel. and San Miguel wasn't regulated, whatever they call that. So the alcohol content from one beer to the next
Does it fluctuate?
could be radically different.
That is a whole new level of Russian roulette there.
Yeah, just weird, right? And then, so then when I came, but it was so hot over there, they'd give them to you. They like had ice in them. They were so cold. And but when I came back to the States, somebody introduced me to a beer called Lucky Lager.
I've heard of this.
And it had on the cap was something you had to decipher. It was pictures, but it was a saying or something. And so, and you could always tell when you drank too much when you couldn't read it anymore.
It's like the golf course. Every hole is a little bit worse. I get it.
You gotta. And so, but I think this is really awesome. So this isn't wine.
So,
are there wines available?
Wine is usually available only, and there's a VIP section that we have as well. So you get an hour early entry, and then depending on who we have working the VIP section. So our years past, we had the Wood Butcher milkshake. Took great care of us.
Yeah. She's awesome.
She's amazing. This year, Lambert House is going to take over. So she's got a lot of great ideas. One of which might be a mimosa bar situation. But that's in the VIP section. That comes with an hour early entry, a special section, and exclusive access to Lambert House, their amazing food, and their offerings that are inside. Plus, it's all tinted, places to sit down and hang out. For instance, all of the sponsors usually sponsor so they can be part of the VIP section. But lucky for everyone else, you could just buy a VIP ticket and you can get in that way.
Yeah. Well, my thought is the name Brewfest. The obvious would be I'm going to get to try all different kinds of beer, including probably dark beers, right? Mm-hmm. Just the whole gauntlet. And it's just a great opportunity to hang out with other people. Just really, it's got to be just a cool thing. But I talk about this all the time, Chris, and that's win-win.
Oh, yeah.
And so I get something, I'm winning. I'm having a good time. I'm having some good food, some good people to hang out with, and some good brew. The other side of that is I'm helping a cause where kids are getting something out of my being entertained. Mm-hmm. I'm having a good time, and the kids benefit. That's called win-win. I love that stuff.
I'll give you a win-win-win.
Whoa, okay.
Because the third is our people that have bought tickets and gone to Brewfest for years.
Yeah.
They have won. They have won by experiencing it as well as helping out. And then they show up to volunteer for our Kohl's Back to School shopping spree.
What?
And they get to see the circle complete. They get to go spend the money they gave us on a kid that they're walking through the store. And we got to see, it was at least 10 or 15 people do that this year. And they bought tickets for this year on that day. On the time that they walked out of the store, they said, now I get it. Now I see why all of you are so dedicated and why you're doing so much work, because it's a lot of work to pull off an event like this. And they got to full circle. So win, win, win. Yeah.
So you guys are going to be at the East Nicholas Labor Day Parade, and I'll get to see you guys there.
Yep.
And so you'll have brews there.
Yes, those will be for sale, and those will just be helping out the East Nicholas schools in the area. So all we're doing there is kind of volunteering our time, and Chris volunteering his trailer.
But it fits what you guys do to help kids, because all the money that's raised in the parade is to, obviously they have to pay for the parade, but it's to really, it ends up going to 4 schools in East Nicholas one more time doing stuff to help kids.
Yep.
And then I'll be there doing whatever they have me do. Those girls, man.
Yeah, I know. Chippendales. I mean, if you find a large Chippendales, one of the two, I'm in. Let's go. I'll be pouring beers. It'll be hot, though.
My nickname is Fish. I'm not going to be a chipmunk.
You'll
I shouldn't say that. Yeah. They'll come up with a mackerel costume.
I think Megan's already doing some searching on Amazon.com right now.
As we speak.
As we speak, yeah.
All right, so that's Labor Day weekend out at East Nicholas.
Yep.
And you guys will be there. Just one last thing. How does somebody find out more about the social club? Is there a web page? Is there a place they can go where they can say, hey, I'd like to find out more. I'd like to be part of that?
Yeah, so first off, if you want to buy tickets or learn anything about the Brewfest, it's just UBasetterBrewfest.com. No hyphens, none of that. UBasetterBrewfest.com, that's us. You'll see a list of current breweries, which I'd love to run through super fast if you have time. Sure. But if you want to learn more about the Sutter Butte Social Club, we meet the last Tuesday of every month in the back of the Happy Viking, because Chris and Sandy are nice enough to give us that beautiful Sierra Nevada room in the back of the Happy Viking, and we make all of our plans and spend all of the money right there. But speaking of, just to run through, here's our current list, and it's growing daily. Figueroa Mountain, they won the Brewers Cup for us last year. Belching Beaver, Crooked Lane, Ramble West, Sierra Nevada, Jack Rabbit, and Urban Roots, plus the random spattering that Chris Drown always has on the Happy Viking. And then for those that are not beer drinkers, we understand that maybe you're dating or married to a beer drinker, but you're not one yourself. Well, we have Golden State Cider, and then we have Surfside Lemonade and iced teas. So those two are
that's cool.
Those are and I've never heard of Surfside, but one of my friends is he's doing the slinging of it now, the sales stuff. He says it's great, and the women in our group are very popular, are very happy that it's coming. So, and then on the restaurant side, we're happy to have most of these guys back. Slough House Social, they won the Grub Cup last year. They're the best food. Lambert House, Sopatai, City Cafe, Pluma Street Pub. We have two more that we're finalizing to do to join us, and all of that is one ticket price. You get access to all of their beers, all of their food.
Wow.
Yeah, one ticket, one price. And right now, if you buy in the next, I think it's week and a half, tickets are only $60 for general admission. So you try to beat that.
Well, I'll make a suggestion. I hate to do this to you. I hate to do this to you. But when you leave here, go over to Got Cakes and get them to bring desserts.
Roger that. I did hear you say you were a big fan of them. Okay.
I was blown away.
Always need a dessert, right?
It's not that, well, it's not, that place is not that big, and the variety they have of dessert stuff, and that's like, and so I tried a couple of them, and I was like, okay, I need to leave now. I need to leave before I end up on a sugar high I'm not coming down from, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I need it, because I'm like, how many cameras are on me right now? It's 10 pounds per camera, but I feel like there's like 8 hidden around here somewhere that nobody knows about. Hidden cameras, that's it.
All right, Chris Matthews, thanks so much. Glad I met you. You actually told me we had actually met before.
That's okay. I'm a forgettable guy. Don't worry about it.
So you'll be at the East Nicholas Labor Day event, and then in September, your Brewfest event is at Bryant Field on September
19th, Saturday.
All right, so you can get it at UBasetterBrewfest.com. You can find out everything you need to know.
Yes, awesome. Thank you very much for having us today.
This community interview is made possible by Shaw and Associates.
I'm Dave Shaw, President and CEO of Shaw & Associates. For over 70 years, Shaw & Associates has been your trusted experts for wealth management, tax, accounting, and payroll. We change lives and inspire true wealth, one person, one family, one business at a time. Shaw & Associates is a wealth management investment firm that specializes in taxes, serving as a fiduciary, putting your interests first. You can find more information or schedule an appointment by calling 530-674-1150 or on the web at shawassociatesinc.com. Shaw & Associates is proud to support community radio.
This community interview is made possible by Shaw and Associates.
I'm Dave Shaw, President and CEO of Shaw & Associates. For over 70 years, Shaw & Associates has been your trusted experts for wealth management, tax, accounting, and payroll. We change lives and inspire true wealth, one person, one family, one business at a time. Shaw & Associates is a wealth management investment firm that specializes in taxes, serving as a fiduciary, putting your interests first. You can find more information or schedule an appointment by calling 530-674-1150 or on the web at shawassociatesinc.com. Shaw & Associates is proud to support community radio.
And if you'd like to support community radio, just go to 93qradio.com, hit that donate button, and everybody's happy. Mostly me. So this morning, I
love it.
I'm going to contain myself, Dan. I
thank
promise. I'm going to be respectful to Chief Nevada.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
You, on
That's
the
very
other
wise.
hand, I'm working on it.
He has a gun and handcuffs.
Yeah, exactly. Dan Flores from Economic Development on this side of the river,
Yes.
and a supervisor on the other side of the river.
That's right.
Who loves the whole community.
That's right. The whole
Everybody.
Yuba Sutter community. Yes.
Everybody, but he does favor 93Q radio.
100%. 93Q.
And then Chief Nevada, I admire you because you came out of retirement. I do wonder about you because you came out of retirement. How did they talk you into that, Chief?
Well, they just needed a lot of help, and they asked if I would help them. I happened to be in the right place, and I decided to do it.
It's hard to not do that, isn't it? When you know you can see that I can help, it's hard to say no.
I know. Yeah,
You know,
it's-
you just probably that's why all of us were around. It's like I could
You're
be
right.
doing something else.
Yeah.
You know, I think one of those RVs through the Tetons would be good. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, Dan, tell me what's on your agenda today.
Great stuff happening. Of course, all around Yuba Sutter. Today's the Veterans Stand Down over at the fairgrounds. So we look forward to going out there and being with all the veterans and all the people who will come to the stand down. Starts at 12 o'clock today that we're going to be out there. So looking forward to that. But here in town, you know, just you were talking with Chief Nevada here. My excitement right now is the community policing project that he's starting to work on. You know, he can share a lot of those details about what's happening with the police and what's happening here downtown. Then we've got a lot of good construction projects still happening. A lot of straight momentum. You know, I'll tell you just to give you a few highlights. The grocery outlet plans to open November 1st. We're going to have a grand opening, and we look forward to having ribbon cutting. And I don't know if you've had the new owners here yet. If you haven't, we'll set that up and have them come out.
We should do that because today I have the gal that runs the holiday market. She's coming in after you guys.
Oh,
because we
perfect.
got that new market out there,
Yeah.
and I just think this is great stuff.
Yeah, we went from no choices to now we're going to have lots.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for them to, put literally a mom and pop grocery store right down on D Street.
Oh, I think that would be
So
wonderful.
that when people, move in all these new apartments we got, if they want to get something from the grocery store, they don't have to do DoorDash. They can take a nice walk down D Street, right? Stop in, get, which my suggestion is an RC Cola and a bag of peanuts.
Those are good. That sounds good.
I've done that. And I tell people that, and they go, what
No,
in
I
the
know that.
world? It's sweet and salty. It's really good,
It's good stuff, yeah. But
So, Chief, you got a plan for community policing. Okay, so what is that?
Well, we actually did it back in the 90s at the Marysville Police Department. And back then it was a dedicated team that went out to certain sections of the city and engaged with the neighbors face to face. And so in those days, we would park our car on a street and we would knock on everybody's door and ask them, hey, how's your day going? What is your concerns today? And we would write it down. We'd take notes. We'd try to come up with what their problems were in that neighborhood and try and resolve those issues for them, in addition to the regular calls for service that happen within the city. But that caused the neighbors to interact with each other and get to know each other and became kind of crime resistant.
Yes.
When we were gone, because they started looking out for each other. And so some of the calls, because of that, they would call their assigned community police officer to resolve issues before calling into the police department for a call for service. So it kind of helped regular patrol for their calls for service, and the community policing folks took care of the more non-emergency calls for service, so to speak. But it was a great program. It also involved problem-oriented policing, which, not just their problems, but if there are drug houses or if there are traffic issues, we try to tackle those, analyze the problems, and take on those issues head on. and it's more visibility. I think it's just a more engaging way for us to interact with the community and gain trust and kind of break that line between police and citizens where we're working now together.
I love that. I mean, when I grew up as a small boy, we were told, if you're in trouble, where do you go? You find a police officer. And that was the way, until I got to be a teenager. And then
and then you ran from him. We get it.
Okay, but that was a long time ago, Chief. I'm a good boy now. And but I love that connection. I've gotten to know a lot of the police officers on both sides of the river and Sheriff's Department, CHP. We just have some really good men and women who care about the community. But I really think what you're talking about, it's like, okay, I may know that, but I may not feel like I know them. But if I get an opportunity, that's why I like the National Night Out and, the Coffee with a Cop and the different things that they do. Because if people will go to that, they will find out, look, they're just like you. They go home, they got a family, maybe they just got a new puppy and they're up half the night because that little guy can't figure it out, or a new child or a new whatever, right? They have real lives. And I think that's part of the community connecting. So, man, I think that's a brilliant idea. So you got a plan to start that?
So we're going to have to phase it in a little by little because we're still battling staffing issues. So we're on right now a heavy recruitment to fill all of our positions. Okay. But we've already started forming a unit, and we have the people designated to start all of this. So it just takes time, but we're hoping maybe in about 6 months.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
you're going to set up some focus groups down the road here too, right? Is it planned?
Yes. Probably that in the next 4 weeks or so. Well, we're going to start focus group. Different ages, different walks of life, to kind of find out how they feel about the city, what their concerns are, the improvements they would like to see, and what they like. We want to kind of get feedback on what they feel about the city and the police department.
So are you telling me that there are full-time positions currently available in Marysville PD?
Yes.
Okay, what about reserve officer positions?
We don't have a cap on reserve officer positions.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. We have 12 right now, so that's a good number.
Yeah, 100 would be awesome. Except for your job. It might be a little too much.
A little more responsibility.
It's just great having, I've always felt this from the day I came in here, we just do not have enough law enforcement. We just don't. We need them. There's so many different areas that they could impact because if they were there. Yeah. And it just, and so I'm always like, what do we got to do to get more, right?
Well, right now, even at full staff, if we were full staff, it's hard. We have a lot of calls for service, but on any given morning, there's only 2 officers until early afternoon, 2 o'clock. Then we get 3, and so 3 officers for the whole city is still difficult. So we're trying to figure out that situation.
You mean 3 officers out on the street? That doesn't include like dispatch and admin or other.
Yeah, 3 officers.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. See, I just think that should be more. You know that thing, defund the police. I've got mine is defund the criminals.
Yeah, right? I like that better.
You know what I mean? Defund them. Start. Get more officers, and because I think it's not less, it's more. We need more, and people feel safer knowing there's an officer around.
Absolutely.
I mean, unless you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, then you don't like it. But if you're your average citizen, you're like, man, I'm glad they're there. I love seeing them go down my street.
Yes.
And this fits into the larger strategic plan for Marysville overall, right? Because we're improving our walkability. We're trying to make the town safer for people to live. We're building out over 100 new residential units in the downtown, but eventually 150 over the next 2 years. These people who want to move here want to feel safe. They want to be able to walk down to the Brick or go down to Got Cakes or wherever they're going and enjoy that with, and feel safe around it. I just want to add a little bit to what the chief said, because he not only talks the talk here, he walks the walk. And I'm going to give you an example. So we had a complaint the other day. I won't mention business name or anything, but we heard from the business owner that they were having problems with some of their transient population doing some things that they shouldn't have been doing, and that it was getting out of hand. Well, the chief actually went out, met with the business owner, sat down, had coffee with her, talked to her about the issues, listened to what she had to say, gave feedback, but then he took action. It was really cool. So now the police, they're having their briefings in the morning at this particular, shop, and now, so they're at 7 o'clock in the morning. So it's great.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's clever. Yeah,
but it's right. It really leads to, that's community policing. It's listening to the problem, and now you have the presence. And if you have the presence that you're talking about, and then people feel that trust, right? It's not only about, hey, public safety, that's important, but it's important to all of us too, economic development and expansion. And nobody's going to come to a community that they feel unsafe in. They're not. They're not going to move their business here, and they're definitely not going to move their families here. But if you get this feeling of, hey, I feel safe because I'm being watched over and they're responding to my needs, and they can act, and they actually do it, then they're going to come. They're going to come to this town, and that's what we've been seeing. And that just warms my heart. But it's just a great deal for the city of Marysville, because it's the direction that we are going. It's part of the overall strategic plan that the city council has put us in charge of implementing. And that's what the city manager has given us direction to make it work. And just to add that one more bit, it's really exciting to be part of a team in Marysville where there's a lot of passion. So it's not just about, hey, we come to work every day. We're back from retirement, but you know what? We love being here, and we love this community so much that we want to see it succeed. And it hurts when people are say some negative things, and there's still some out there, but we work that direction. We have to listen to them because it's their point of view and it's what they're feeling, and we need to change those feelings about the community overall. And I love being on this team because from the city manager to the police chief to the finance director to public works, we are all really tied into what's here. And we have every time we hear a complaint, we take it personally, and it's such a small town, small community that we want to react and make it better.
So the easiest way to resolve that, Dan, is you go get a bunch of gift cards for Greyhound. And the next time somebody complains, you hand them the gift card and go where you think it's better. Or be part of making this better.
Thank you.
Right?
I like that, yes.
And,
it's funny.
You know what's going to happen? I'm going to leave here, and somebody's going to give me a gift card to go somewhere.
We're going to give you a gift card so you can expand, Fish, because you're part of that. You're part of this whole strategy as well. You're helping create that strong momentum here. You have everywhere I go. I was at a Kiwanis meeting yesterday. I heard Willie Willisey talking, but he was on the air with you. He mentioned it in the Kiwanis meeting yesterday. So everywhere I go, people have come to your show and they're sharing things about the community, but this is how we work together. Yuba Sutter working together, Marysville, Yuba City working together. Live Oak's part of that too. We're not leaving you out, but all of us are together as one, and we need to focus on making this a better place to live, work, and play. We just stay there, right? We got to stay focused on that strategy.
I saw you the other day. I sat down with you and John Nicoletti at Got Cakes.
Yes, that was great.
So I would love to volunteer for the police department, and my beat will be
when you got cakes.
You know that thing about cops and donuts? Guilty, buddy. I'd be living there, Chief. You'd be like, okay, get him to at least walk outside once in a while.
Bring him a uniform. Let's go. Sign him
Oh,
up.
my gosh.
We're going to change it to Fichetti's Beat. You know, Blevins Beat? We'll change that to Fichetti's Beat.
We are thinking about starting another downtown foot patrol in the next 3 weeks or so. We're looking at our
That would be
staffing,
awesome.
trying to get some
That'll
folks
be
down here.
really good.
Yeah.
I think so much has already changed. I see less of the activity than I used to see in this area. Now, I don't go far, right? I leave here, I'll go to the Brick, or I'll go to Casa Carlos, right? Mostly places to eat. Unless I need, some butcher stuff, then I run over to Double Z. But it's like we've got so much down here, but I've gone down and shot video in a lot of the little shops and that, and this is such an incredible area. I want people to know that. And honestly, I've seen precious little. I think the things that people are concerned about happen at night. Right? I think those are happening. I'm not saying things don't happen during the day, but I sure do see less. Right? We used to see a lot when that hotel was standing.
Oh, right.
I think there was a lot of transients living in that hotel because I used to come in the mornings and I'd see it. And now the hotel's gone and I come in that back way all the time. I never see anybody,
That's good.
And so, so I know there's been change, right? But again, get that pack of bus tickets.
Send them running.
I don't know if that's legal or not. It's only an offer.
It might be legal for you, but I'm not sure it's legal for us.
Go see Fish if you want to live somewhere else.
Hey, you're giving them a choice, right? It's okay.
But I just love the downtown area. So
Yeah.
the idea of having an officer down there, it's great for the community, great for business owners, great for kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Kids love to see. Make sure that officer's got a pocket full of those
Stickers.
Because
Yeah.
you know he's going to get hit up for that on a regular basis,
Yeah.
right?
It's great for people who come from out of town as well, because
Yeah.
they'll come and they'll see this presence like, oh, this is a great safe place. Last weekend I came to the Thai restaurant on 4th Street, for instance. I came here to eat on a Sunday, and I thought, I'm going to try that Thai restaurant on a Sunday. I'd never been there on a Sunday to go to the Thai restaurant, right? Because I live in Yuba City, or pretty much around the block from you, Fish. But sorry.
Yeah, but I don't have a sign in my front yard anymore,
Not
Dan.
you used to, though. You had my son. But I came here on Sunday, and the restaurant was packed.
Yeah.
And there were people from all over. And I'm like, who are these people? So that particular restaurant has an attraction on Sunday, and I've been to the Brick on Saturdays when it's crowded in the mornings, and it's just great to see people like to come into this community. So we want to continue making them feel good about it. And if we have this connection with the police and there's somebody walking around, can you imagine just the friendly, what is that, the Hallmark town that
That's
we've
what
envisioned
Don
for you?
Blazer
That's
told
right.
me. He was I think he was running for office, or he was going to run for office, but he was selling the Brick.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting in there with him one day, and I said, Don, why would you sell this? And he laughed. He said, I've done this for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And he said, I said, but why would you run for office? And he said, look down D Street. What do you see? And I went, D Street. But here's a guy with vision. He said, I see Hallmark. And ever since then, I can't help it. I look down there and think.
See Hallmark,
yeah. And so it used to be the old proverbial potential.
Yeah.
I don't see potential anymore. I see momentum.
Yeah.
I see things changing all the time. Business owners, new businesses coming in,
Yes, yeah.
right? And great little downtown stuff, and I just think it's awesome. Right?
Yeah, that's
so
great
now
stuff.
adding to that an officer,
It's
this
awesome.
is yeah.
And
What-
you mentioned
what's
Don
next?
Blazer.
Get a fireman to walk next to him.
Hey, what we could do. But you mentioned Don Blazer.
Yeah.
That guy hasn't given up on Hallmark. I'm
No,
telling you.
yeah.
So he comes to, and he holds us accountable. Like I actually have a whiteboard in my office. You got to come see it, but there's a square in there, and it's the Don Blazer square. And so it has a list of items that he has requested. And we're working closely with Public Works, PD, PD, fire, everybody to kind of follow through on those lists because it's his
Is there
image.
a fish square?
I haven't done that yet, but we better get that one. Come and visit. We'll get that together. But he is he's an official ambassador for the city of Marysville.
Yeah.
So that's his job now. He's official, and so is Judy Mann. So
I've seen Judy all day.
Yeah.
She should be.
She is. So both of them have taken on the title of ambassadors of Marysville. And so they wear the swag and everything, and they go out and they do great things for us. Judy does, the first Saturday walks, and then she set up the information center. She gets out there and talks to people, but they're both really good eyes and ears for us too. They go out and hear feedback, and then they bring it into City Hall, and then we react. We try to improve the situations when we hear those problems. And they're well connected to the business community. In the Marysville Business Alliance, right now, their chairperson is Lauren, and she's just doing an awesome job.
She's an awesome girl. I've interviewed her twice.
She's wonderful. I mean, and talk about energy. Tons of energy, way more than I have. But it must nice to be young, I guess. But she's got all this energy, and they've got these ideas, and the MBA has been meeting with a good number of people now. So it's sort of the downtown businesses are really reactivated together. Love to have you come, maybe even to the next one, Fish.
I told them it's on Wednesday,
show,
and I've got Rough Notes and Casual Thoughts.
Oh, right.
So I have to make a choice between downtown business and John Cassidy. Wait a minute, that's not hard. I would have
gone to downtown business. That's an easy one.
So, Chief, I have to ask, did you grow up here?
Yes. Yep.
Did you go to Marysville High?
I did. I went to Kynoch, McKinney, Marysville High School.
You're an Indian.
Yeah.
Come on. It's like, I love that. I had somebody here the other day, they were a Blazer, right? And it's like, it's great to actually, he said that you guys were pretty competitive when he was younger, the two schools.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I love that, right? But it's like, so you were with the PD before then?
I was with Marysville from 93 to 2003.
So
Yes.
this is old hat to you. Well, a lot of new stuff, but I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you find out something new. I'm surprised Dan didn't give me a little list. Hey, this is what you need to know. That is amazing.
I actually meant to do that, but sorry.
Well, this is.
But he's a wealth of knowledge. That's the thing. Like he brings all of that knowledge of the past here. I think the good question, even for me, I haven't even had a chance. So what do you see that's different now from then to now? I mean. I guess I can ask. Can I ask a question?
Well, it would be.
Dan, you can do whatever you want.
Thank you.
Remember, I'm being nice today.
That's right.
Take advantage of it.
I just think the growth, the construction going on and the kind of the revitalization of the downtown area is exciting.
Yeah.
To me, that's the big difference.
I really appreciate Chris Gill. I met him. He's just genuinely a nice guy.
He is, yeah.
I'm not saying that publicly. He might hear it, but I like Chris. And so it could not have been more perfect for him to get that location he's got for the training zone.
Yeah.
So I just thought, well, he'll just sell that, his old building. Why would he need? He's going to sell it. But he's not.
No, he's not.
Making it into offices and apartments, and he's got all these plans down the road. I mean, he likes it here. So it wasn't like Chris moved away.
No.
Right?
No.
And I want his business to succeed beyond his imagination.
We all do, yes.
He's
Absolutely.
just a great guy doing a great job. But at the same time, he didn't leave Marysville proper, the downtown area. He loves this. And he's willing to invest his time and energy and apparently money, because it's not cheap to do that stuff, to make this nicer down here. I don't know who the guy is that built those apartments across from that, right across from the old Marysville Hotel.
Oh, that's Nick Fan. He is very dedicated too. He wants
you can't drive by there and not go, that's that's amazing.
It is. Yeah.
It's just amazing.
And they
then-
look amazing inside too. These are all quality apartments that Nick did. They're really quality that Chris Gill is putting together. You know, if you haven't toured through there yet, Fish, it's a really good place to check out. But you know, he's got all those apartments, and then he's got shared office space down on the lower level, and then he plans to build more apartments too over on C Street.
I just think I've told this story, but I'll tell it again. I grew up in U City, which was right at the St. Louis line, right? And I hung out in a downtown area called the Loop. And, you know, places like the Pool Hall, Guccione's Market,
Yeah, nice.
Tivoli Theater.
That's what we need.
right?
See, we need a market like that.
So it was kind of a rough neighborhood, right? And then I went off as in the military. I was overseas for 3.5 years. So I come home on leave, and my family says, "Hey, let's go down to the Loop," and I'm like, what happened? What was different? So what happened was they permitted business owners to live above their business.
Yeah.
And they revitalized the entire downtown area. And it was like one business owner bought 3 buildings, and he connected them together, the lower floor you could live in. And it was a bar called Blueberry Hill. And Chuck Berry would show up unannounced and
That's
play
awesome.
because it was a place for him to do it.
That's great.
And it was
Yeah.
I was just shocked. Now, they did keep things, Guccione's Market and the Tivoli Theater, because they kept the old theater was still there, and they kept Martha Washington's, which was just a little ice cream parlor. And it was like, but the rest of it was all new, and these people were living down there. It was thriving. I remember going, I will tell you this, though, with a tear in my eye. The pool hall was gone.
Oh. They need to bring that back.
So I see that when I look downtown Marysville.
Yeah.
What an incredible opportunity to actually be able to own a business and live above it.
Absolutely.
Or if you don't own a business, all these new apartments, the opportunity to live in an apartment and within walking distance is all kinds of stuff, right? And it just keeps new businesses keep moving in. I really love Quincy's and Munchies.
Oh,
get out there and
they're
get a
great.
turkey sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
They do great sandwiches and lemonade and all the stuff they have there.
Yeah, I used to just be brick only, right?
Yeah.
Because quick walk, go to the brick, get back here, go to work, right? And then it's like, and then somebody said, you know, there's a Mexican restaurant over here called Casa Carlos. I said, really? Is it any good? Man, I bet I've been there 100 times since then.
It's great
And
stuff.
then I got Quincy's and Munchies.
Yeah.
And then the other day, I meet this guy. I'm over at that Got Cakes, right?
yeah.
I'm like, oh, man.
Got cakes.
Yeah.
It's a problem. It's a problem having all this food available. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know, you move from something to eat to something to buy, right? Next
that's
thing we'll
right.
have, a clothing store down there and
Yeah.
grocery store. I just think this is just an awesome area.
It is. We feel the same way.
I do. I appreciate that you were willing to come back, but I appreciate more that it really wasn't coming back. You were never gone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You grew up here, so it's like
right,
this is old
that's
home
true.
week for you, right?
Yeah.
And then now, Dan's right. Having the experience of things that you did before and knew that were successful, you're able to try to institute that again to make it better for our community. And I just think that's awesome.
Thank you.
So get that fireman to walk down there, because nobody believes fire and PD can get along. Break
get along
that
great with
barrier.
fire.
They get along really well. Yeah.
I know they
Yeah.
do, unless they're playing baseball against each other.
Or that tug of war.
Tug of war, right? I just think I love the fire department. They have the thing where they hold out the boot and you put money in it.
Yeah.
I think the PD should do it with a holster, a big holster.
That might actually work.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's holster day, right? Gosh.
I love it.
Well, Dan, thanks so much for all you do, and keeping us abreast. And Chief, if I haven't welcomed you back, welcome.
Thank you.
And I'm grateful that you're here and the ideas that you have. And, we'll always do anything that we can do to promote the PD, and because we recognize how valuable it is to the community. And so, again, with the naysayers, I say get that pocket full of gift cards. Get the city to buy a bunch of bus tickets.
The Greyhound bus tickets. I
And
love it.
it's like I appreciate you. Thanks for living here. Now go somewhere else, right?
Well, Fish, I just want to add, we appreciate you. We appreciate you getting the message out and keeping that positive attitude and really helping us move this community along. And, you're getting the word out, and that's what's really important. And so, we just want to thank you for your continued support that way and what you do with the station, because it makes a huge difference. Sometimes I know you probably don't feel it, but out there, it is making a difference.
Oh, we have
So
our
thank you.
naysayers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But
And,
it's all right.
and I am thinking
Give
about
them a Greyhound
mailing
bus
them
ticket.
a bus ticket.
There's a few people like that. No
Oh
problem.
my gosh, it's probably illegal at some. Chief, will you look into that so we don't make a mistake handing out bus tickets, right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, thank you, Fish. Appreciate it.
All right, so once a month you're gonna, Dan, you'll be in. You'll let us know. Keep us up
Absolutely.
on all the new
Yeah.
construction and
Got a lot of
that's
good
going
things
on.
happening, and next month I'll share with you some real strong progress on other things that are going on in town. Great grant opportunities that we've applied for, and they're looking successful. Some road improvements that you're really going to see. I mean, we're just hitting the roads hard and on the improvements, and then some businesses and some new buildings that are coming in. And I'll tell you, the permits have quadrupled from just 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, the number of permits, and I can go over that information when we have more time next time. It'll be fun.
I do want to catch this before we get out of here, and that is the two things that I know have been talked about, and if I understand it, that are already funded. One was those bullards, the ability to block off 4th Street.
Yes.
And then the other was the lighting.
Yes.
Are those in the mix?
Yes. So finally, we were able to get it through the environmental review issues that had to be taken care of. It's no fault of anyone. It was in Caltrans' hands. Had to go through all of the rigmarole, I guess, that they had to go through. And then now we have it where we're getting the bids, or actually we have the bids from the contractors, so they've ordered the materials. So the contractors have ordered the materials. I'm told it takes 12 to 16 weeks to get the materials. Once they're here, the installation is just a matter of a couple of weeks. So I'd say early spring, we'll have new lights, bollards, right on D Street between 3rd and 4th, and we'll have you out. Maybe you lead it for us, but we should pray over that, because it's going to be an amazing ad for this community. But more than that, we should also have, or not more, but also with that, we should have a celebration about having that in the downtown, because it's going to be really nice, and it's going to open it up so at night you can walk around downtown and have lighting. So
I could have saved you guys the grief. I was over at Sam's Club yesterday, had to pick up stuff, and they already got Christmas stuff out.
I know, yeah.
And I
it's
thought,
crazy,
I
isn't it?
Marysville shouldn't have gone through that. I'd have gone to Sam's Club and I would have emptied their Christmas light aisle.
And just put it up.
And then I'd have put it up.
Yeah.
And then you guys could say, well, we can't take it down. Fish put it up, and it's for Christmas. And, the guys, working hard. So we just kind of allow the lights to stay there.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying, that we would oppose that.
Dan, this is why nobody's ever voted me in for city council.
Hey, you just ask for forgiveness, not permission. It's okay,
Next thing you know, you'll come and there'll be lights all around the Hart building. It'll be like...
It would be beautiful.
Oh, it would be.
All right. Thank you, Fish.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Chief, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you. Yes.
This community interview is made possible by Shaw and Associates.
Associates is proud to support community radio.
And we're grateful for Dave Shaw and his support for community radio. And this morning, for my 9 o'clock interview, I get to have Kayla Parker. And you say, well, what's so great about Kayla? She runs the new holiday market out in Plumas Lake. Come on, Kayla, where'd you grow up at?
I'm actually from the Yuba Sutter area. So my family's been here since the late 90s, before all the developments, before all the housing went up. So my family's been here for a really long time.
So how did you end up with Holiday Market?
It's a great question. I'm about ready to hit my 5-year anniversary with our company. And I started off, we actually have 2 sectors, a part of our umbrella. Our company's North State Grocery. And they have 2 umbrellas of Holiday Market and Save More Foods, all in Northern California, with a store also in Southern Oregon. I worked for a billion-dollar corporation that didn't satisfy what I wanted to do. My growth was capped out, and I wanted something different. And so I applied for North State Grocery with Holiday Market and Save More Foods, and I was selected, and I've been with the company ever since.
You gotta love it.
I do.
Right, because you're home. I mean, this is like your area, right? So were you surprised that they were going to build a market in Plumas Lake?
No, we've been scouting Plumas Lake for many, many years, and when we grabbed that opportunity, as soon as it came available, and we've been gung-ho ever since.
It didn't take you guys long to build that, did it?
No, we actually broke ground August 6th, 25, and we will be opening our doors here next Friday.
Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing.
Are you a little nervous about that? That's a big deal. Grand opening. It's a lot of work.
It has been a tremendous experience with opening our doors to all of the employees that are working there, to the excitement of the community.
They love it.
I am just so excited for the opportunities that we're going to have within this community because we have a lot of support.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask the dumb questions now, but you're going to be okay with that, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm assuming Holiday Market is not like a little quick market where you just get a few things. Nope. It's a regular grocery store, right?
Full-on grocery store.
And so I'm assuming it's got meat, dairy, all that stuff. If I need, paper towels and toilet paper and, all the stuff that we standard go. So the people of Plumas Lake, it's like you realize they own you.
Absolutely. And I'm ready for that. I'm so excited to be owned by the
They're
community.
Like, you're our market,
Absolutely.
Right? So are you doing anything special for the grand opening coming up? What did you say, the 28th?
Yes, on the 28th, we grand open. Our doors will open up at 6 a.m., so the store hours are from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. We will be doing a ribbon cutting at 10 a.m. on Friday, the 28th, so we can welcome any and all the officials that have been helping us out, Hilbers, who's helped us break ground, and a lot of other supporters. We will also be having a community live DJ. We will also be having some kids face painting later on in the afternoon when all the kiddos get out of school. Saturday, we have a live band that will be playing, so we're really excited about that. And then also Sunday, we have another nonprofit organization coming out for additional kids activities.
Isn't that cool?
That's amazing.
It's a great little community. Very supportive of one another. I've gotten involved with them on multiple occasions, like fundraisers for the schools and stuff like that. And I just love it that they actually get their own grocery store, right? Because think about, you got to travel a long way to get stuff. When something moves in local, it just changes everything.
It does.
You're like, wow, because they had a gas station. I think they had 2. And it's like, okay, I can get gas, but maybe they got a little quick mark, so I'll get some ho-hos and a Pepsi or something. Right?
That's all they've got. They have to travel into, the Marysville area, or to go into town into Lincoln, and this is literally their own grocery store.
Now they get to go and say, oh, we need this. Well, get on Alexa and make a list, and then go over there and shop away.
You're cooking dinner and you forgot an ingredient, you ran out of something, you can literally go quick drive over to the store, pick up what you need, and then dinner's not ruined.
yeah, that can happen more than once. I've been
does.
there. Yeah, this is really good for for a couple of reasons. One, because of convenience and that, but local business wise, it's great to have another local business, right? That the community can support, and they can thrive because we've got that. And next thing you know, you're going to be a district manager or whatever they call the next step.
That'll potentially be someday, that's for sure.
Yeah,
with the potential of this business booming in Plumas Lake, I don't anticipate it's going to be one of our top stores in the company that we have.
Isn't that great?
It's mind-boggling just to see what the potential for the future holds for us here in Plumas Lake.
So when you think of Holiday Market as a business, okay, so like you said, you love it because potential for advancement, everything's there. Now I'm going to flip it around, Kayla, right? You're a shopper and you're walking in the store. What's going to impress you most?
Our employees. So we have a vision for our company that long ago we had asked hundreds and hundreds of shoppers why they shop where they shop at. And the top 5 reasons is what we made our vision. And the number 1 item on that vision board is to be world famous friendly. And that's exactly what you're going to get as soon as you walk into the door.
See, I go to a grocery store that people have said to me, Fish, you could save money if you went to this grocery store over here. But I've been going to this grocery store for 20 years. And the reason I do is because they see this old man walking down the aisle and obviously don't know where the mayonnaise is or whatever. And they come up and they say, are you looking for something, right? It's the people. And that really does make a difference. I believe that. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So that's the first thing they're going to notice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about selection? How do you decide? Like if somebody came in and they said, well, I appreciate all the different sodas you got, but you don't have mine. Can people actually talk to you guys and say,
they sure can.
I would like you to carry this. Is it possible that you can carry this?
We have a wide variety of selected items, but yes, there's also those items that you're used to buying at a competitor and you want to turn your business around and shop at Holiday Market. We actually have the availability to reach out to our vendors that we work with and do item requests. So if you shop at, say, Trader Joe's or Sprouts and they have a specific item.
Sprouts? I haven't heard anybody mention that name in a long time.
In general, any item. Obviously, we'll have to work with vendors and see if that's something that we can bring in. And if we can get our hands on it, absolutely we will.
See, I love that. So do you have an actual butcher there?
We do. We actually have a whole shop.
Come on.
I'm so excited. We'll have our butcher on staff. We have an assistant to his department as well. And everything's in shop.
I gotta go out there.
You have to.
So when do you actually open? Have you already opened?
We haven't. The doors physically will open on the 28th.
Oh, so that's everything.
That's everything.
All right, I was going to come out and shoot video, but I'll have to wait till the 28th. Right?
If you want to come on in, I can give you a tour. We've been in building, putting together shelves, putting together product, moving things around, setting our registers. We've been in the stores for the last several weeks, putting it all together.
Maybe we'll do that as a preview if you're open to that. That'd be really kind of cool, And then I can find out if you carry my favorite items.
It's a little chaos right now because we're still putting everything together, but it's coming together very nicely.
That. So I know some of these, like I said, they might be dumb questions. How big is the store?
The store itself is about just over 30,000 square feet.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's big.
It's a big thing. So we have all the departments: meat, produce, bakery and deli.
Bakery?
All core grocery, yes. And we have our number 1 selling item in the entire company is our deli sandwiches that are handmade to order.
Whoa, wait.
Number 1 selling item.
Oh my gosh, sandwich. I love stuff like that.
It is so good.
Literally, okay, all right, I'm sold.
Perfect, Come on over.
So when you think about being there, and serving the community, and it's a community you know. You know, I mean, it's like this is not your first rodeo.
No.
But being with the company 5 years, it's also a business, you know.
It is.
And so you mentioned the employees, and we recognize that in a way you're the only game in town. But that doesn't make it work, does it? It's beyond that. You have to do beyond that. So when you think about the Plumas Lake community, tell me what you think the connection between Holiday Market and the Plumas Lake community really is.
As far as North State Grocery and the Holiday Market, we own and operate and are in small towns. That is our goal, is to be pretty much the only competitor around. We want to serve our customers with the best possible, world famous friendly, a cleanest environment, freshest product, the fewest out of stocks to make sure that our customers get what they were looking for, and to have the most knowledgeable staff. So that is what we live by. And that is what we want to portray to our community.
You're going to kill it. You know that, right?
I am.
You already know that. I can see it on your face. You already know we're going to do good here. We love this place. We're going to do great. I love it. I love it. All right. So have I forgotten anything? Kayla, is there anything else you'd like to tell people?
We have filtered through thousands of applications, hundreds of thousands of applications, and we've selected, I think, the perfect crew for our store. And we are just so excited to be this facet for the community to partake in and to thrive and grow. And I'm so excited to meet each and every one of my customers, because I know there's going to be a lot of people who are repeat customers who are going to come in. I'm excited to learn about their lives and learn about their families and their kids and hear about all the exciting things that they have, to be invited to community events. We just went to the Plumas Lake Block Party this past weekend, and it was the first time I've ever been, and it was fantastic. I just love the community involvement, and us at Holiday Market are very heavily involved in community.
So, since you mentioned that, I have to ask, you got an ice machine? You sell ice?
Yeah, so like actual
the bag
bags.
ice?
We have 2 of them.
Okay, I was going to say, because people in Plumas Lake, they love doing get-togethers. And you do a get-together, you have to have ice, right? It's got to be available.
That's a great idea. So I will make sure that we do not run out of ice for all of these get-togethers.
The people be going, I got to go into town for ice, right? So, yeah, I love it. Kayla, thanks so much for coming on, and we will connect, off air and find out. We can get over there, maybe shoot a little video of, hey, this is what's coming. Well, it is already in Plumas Lake, but the grand opening is coming up. I want to remind everybody that it is August 28th, and you're going to open at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Oh, then I have one last question.
Sure.
Coffee.
We will have a Pete's coffee machine that will have hot coffee. We'll have cold brew coffee as well.
Yep, Holiday Market. Sounds like anything and everything that you would like. They're at 2257 River Oaks Boulevard. That is in Plumas Lake. And then, I forgot about this. You guys have a rewards program.
We do.
Those are always cool. I'm part of a rewards program for the store. Okay, so tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So you will go to either your Apple or your Google Play Store. You will download the Holiday Market Rewards app. You will create an account, and from here until September 22nd, if you apply for this rewards program, you will come in and we will give you 2 free reusable Holiday Market bags. But also, the rewards program, it will actually help you save money in stores. So every single week we have an ad that drops, and it allows our customers to purchase all of their items that they frequently shop at discounted prices. All you have to do is utilize the phone number associated with your Holiday Rewards app, and for every $1 that you spent, you get a point, and you can convert those points over time to percentages off of your basket.
That's smart. That's just
coupons
smart.
that are in there. There's a whole bunch that goes along with that Holiday Market app. It's not just the rewards program. There's manufacturer coupons that go on there. The app will actually kind of sort of track your purchasing history, and so it will download coupons into your actual app.
Which makes it so easy. If you're buying the same thing over and over again, and the store you go to says, well, since you're buying that all the time, let me give you 20 cents off or whatever, right? And you're like, okay, okay, this works.
People got a budget, and why not clip some coupons and get some rewards while you're at it?
Kayla, I got a feeling that Holiday Market is going to spoil those folks out there in Plumas Lake.
We are.
And don't be shocked if you end up with customers that don't live in Plumas Lake, but you know what I mean?
We want people to travel in to see us.
I love it. All right, thanks for coming on, Kayla. Appreciate you taking the time, because you're busy.
I am.
And you're getting really ready to be real busy. Even
Down to
more
the wire. 1 week left.
All right, again, Holiday Market's grand opening August 28th, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. It's at 2257 River Oaks Boulevard. You can go by there, say hello to Kayla.
This community interview is made possible by Shaw and Associates.
I'm Dave Shaw, President and CEO of Shaw & Associates. For over 70 years, Shaw & Associates has been your trusted experts for wealth management, tax, accounting, and payroll. We change lives and inspire true wealth, one person, one family, one business at a time. Shaw & Associates is a wealth management investment firm that specializes in
Welcome, folks, to this. What are we at here? The Sunday, the August the 23rd edition of the Yuba Sutter Freebird Sports Update Show. We're coming at you here a day late, but not a dollar short. Joining me here on the show, Brett Bloomfield with the, I call it the front office at the ball club here. How you doing, Brett?
I'm doing great.
Great to have you here. The Freebirds have been on the road for the last week after, well, how do you sum up the last home trip for the home stand for the Freebirds before they went on the road? It was they had a little bit of spark when they played Boise, right? They won a couple of games there when Boise came into town, and after that they kind of ran into a buzzsaw with the Oakland Ballers. Then go down to Long Beach and play a few games down there. They lost. They lost all three down at Long Beach, and they come back and play the Roadsters, and that was kind of a bright spot to really get them going. They won 2 of 3 against the Roadsters, who had come into that series, only lost one game the entire second half of the season to us, and then they end up losing 2 more games in that series. What do you think that does for the Roadsters leaving, kind of having their hats handed to them here?
I don't know if it really does anything to them. I mean, just think about any great team that has an amazing season, or in this case, the second half. Like, I don't really think it diminishes their record or what they're doing in the second half.
What do you think why is it that a team that has so much success against every other ball club second half of the season, they've only lost one, it's to us, and they come in, is it just, are they just not seeing the ball well? Do you think maybe they came in? I can tell you the first game against the Roadsters, the first game of that 3-game series, I was amazed at how the lack of concentration on their part. There were a lot of mental errors, just throwing balls over to first base when nobody's covering first base. A lot of stuff that seemed very uncharacteristic. Could it be that maybe they thought it was going to be a walk in the park at the end? Are they coming in after a long road trip on their own? Were they tired? What is it about our ball club that seems to, well, for 4 games at least, 3 games, we had their number?
Well, our park is pretty difficult to play defense in, and I think the shortstop and third baseman kind of like proved that throughout the series. Not to knock on them or anything like that, but I think the most impressive thing on our end when it came to playing them was we had that big turnaround where the guys had to get on the bus at like 6:30 in the morning, get off the bus at the park at 2 o'clock or something like that, and then turn around and play, when these guys still just got to make the 2-hour drive up to our field and play. Yeah. But in terms of what Modesto, I think that their head coach not being there really played a part in it, in terms of, like you say, focus. Like, just take a head coach away from any team, and it's impressive if they continue to do well without their commander and staff. And we also didn't have our coach.
That's right.
For that too. But I just really think that those games that we played them, especially after coming back from Long Beach, again, like we're playing the number 1 team in the league and then playing the number 1 team in the second half, and that long trip and turnaround, like we were all I should say, as fans, were kind of like worried and just how it was going to go that day. And I mean, we jumped on them. I think we hit extremely well that series, and they just made errors at costly times.
That was so. It was so uncharacteristic because they've been here before and they just seemed to be fundamentally sound out in the field. But there was one where they throw over to first base and nobody was there.
That was a weird play.
Yeah.
That was a weird play. Our Diego, our guy who does the stats, the live stats, was like, "What do we put for that? Like, is that a hit? Is that an error? Is that a defensive indifference? Like, what is it?" And I think we just put it as a hit and just like an RBI type thing. But I think our guys that didn't walk a lot of guys those 3 games, I think we kind of figured out how to pitch to their better players.
Yeah.
Especially Osiris Johnson. They just seem to really like throw a lot of the off-speed stuff. He still hit one out on a hanger one of the times, but
one of the odd things that with Osiris Johnson is he didn't play he wasn't in the starting lineup for the first game, which was odd.
I was going to mention that he wasn't in the starting lineup the first game, and then I think Boyd is his last name.
Yes,
Justin Boyd. Justin. He also wasn't in the lineup and is hurt and played. And then you text me and was like, "Hey, like, what happened to the infielder? Why tell?" Well, he got hurt after his first AB running the bases or something like that. So they're kind of banged up in terms of their infielders and their top of the lineup guys, but. Since we're on the Mosers, their catcher Dunhurst, I think is his last name, owns us.
Oh,
he has. I think he has 12 home runs this season, and he must have had 7 or 8 of them are against us.
I mean, if I was him, and the offseason comes up, and folks are looking for a new home, if he hasn't signed with the Roadsters, I would think that he'd be hitting us up because I just love hitting in your ballpark.
We put him. He was our first beer batter on our game.
Yeah.
When they came into town, I think in the second half, and he went like 3 for 5 with 3 home runs or something like that, and we were just like, dude, like, what are we doing? Like, let's not pick this guy ever again for beer batter.
Does it feel like, and for those that are watching, the beer batter player of the game is that we pick one guy in the lineup, and if he strikes out, then it's what, $2 off or $2 beers for the next 20 minutes at the
blonde ale, the Freebirds with Sutter Brewery, it's $2 for the next 10 minutes.
It just feels like every time we pick a ball player to be the beer batter player of the game, that's the night that he has the career night.
I think we're losing in the battle on that. We've had a few good ones. We had one where a guy struck out twice by the 7th inning, but every Friday or Saturday when alcohol's open for the whole game, and we've only gotten like 1 strikeout or no strikeouts. But it's really funny because we think about it and we try to go into it, and unfortunately when you look up the stats, the best hitters have the most strikeouts.
Yeah.
And the guys who don't have the best average, well, they don't have as many strikeouts as these other guys, which is like, okay, well, so, but on that point, the funny thing is like in college ball, it's really common to have like a beer batter. And so the joke was in certain places, and from my experience, is like some guys, they'd go up there and they wouldn't swing. Like they even with 2 strikes, like they wouldn't, because if the pitcher walked him, now the fans are going to be mad at the pitcher.
Yeah.
And if you striked him out, you made everybody in the park happy, or you go up there and you just bunt the first pitch every time, or just swing at the first pitch, put it in play, like
just to tick off the fans.
Yeah, and like you're trying to do, obviously, like guys in college ball and independent league, they don't think about it, I don't think, but it definitely is a mental aspect, like deep down in the mind of just like, oh, like, dude, like I don't want to strike out.
Well, I know it just felt like whoever we picked was having their career night, and Bob Fischetti leaned over and said, maybe let's just try making one of our guys the beer batter player of the game, and they'll have a career night.
So that is an idea that we have for next year, of like, we have a beer batter for the away team, and then we have a beer batter for the home team.
Yeah.
And if they get not a hit, but like if they get a double or an extra base hit or something like that, then it's also like $2 beers for the next 10 minutes.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, it increases the fan turnout and everything. And on that note, so the first game against the Roadsters, actually, it was the second game. If I remember correctly, we actually went down. We came back, or both of them. Both of the games against the Roadsters were walk-offs in the 9th inning. The first
both by Chamizo, yeah.
Yeah, it was 6-6, I think, in the bottom of the 9th inning in the first game. Chamizo comes in, doubles, knocks in the guy from second, and then was it 9-9 in the second game, and we had come back in that one, and we had come back to tie it at 9, and Chamizo comes up, but the credit credit I give is that group of kids. There was a group of kids at the game.
Tarps off.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they started with the Let's Go Freebirds chant in about the 5th inning. And it was nonstop. And it started off in front of us, and then they moved over to the right field bleachers. And there must have been 25, 30 kids out there chanting, Let's Go Freebirds. The boys had their shirts off, and they're spinning them around, the tarps off stuff. That was just awesome.
So we had a pretty good turnout Friday and Saturday, and there was a lot of kids Friday. I mean, like a lot of kids. And like you said, they were up by us,
Yeah.
Press box, we have our windows open, and like watch the game. We shut all the windows. Right? So finally, somebody came up and was like, "Hey guys, go over there and start doing the Let's Go Freebirds." And we were just like, "Thank you so much for doing that." But it was 4 innings straight. We almost came back on the Sunday game as well.
Yeah.
And we came, 8-run
Yeah,
deficit. Something like that, and we lost by 2.
It started going through, and I remember thinking, "Oh my gosh, if we do it again, and that takes us back to the thought that I had before. The thing about the Roadsters is they're such a good ball club, and we see this on our side. First time through the lineup, you'll see a little bit of success, but the second time through the lineup against the same pitcher, that's where they start making their adjustments.
Yep.
You leave them in for a third time, and that's where the real run scoring starts, because now everybody's made their adjustments, and it seemed like the cure to that was, starting with the second game, I don't recall any pitcher facing any batter more than twice in the game. And they get through one time through the lineup, start the second time, and we were having a new pitcher come in. And they really started running. Now, obviously, you can't do that for the whole season, but there seemed to be some success with that.
It's the hardest thing to do as a pitcher is to get a guy out 3 times in one game.
Yeah.
If you see him. And it happens more often in 9-inning games, but the thing, again, like I said earlier, that I just think they kind of figured out how to pitch to those guys and get them out and minimize the damage. I'm sure if we go back and look at the walks for those Friday and Saturday games, that we didn't have that many walks. And if we did, it was early on in the game with the starters, and the bullpen guys didn't really walk anybody. And Sunday, the walk bug kind of got us a little bit, which hurt us in the long run. But like the hitters, Kirchner is, absolutely killing the ball. He has half the ABs as Chamizo, and he almost has the same RBIs. Like, I think we found the RBI guys, and last time I was on the show, we talked about how Chamizo gets the inning going and hits really well and just refuses to get out. And then now Kirchner, who hits behind him, really just starting to just drive guys in when it matters.
You had talking about the walks there and figuring them out. You had mentioned something the last time that we were on the show that I paid attention to, started incorporating in the on-air broadcast for the games, talking about how the ABS system tends to favor the hitters over the pitchers. And explain why that is.
So my thing is when you're pitching, you throw a ball, and a lot of our guys will look back up at the ABS system. Well, if it's out, high, low, or in. Like, maybe on the corners, you might want to take a look, but it's a mental thing if you're looking at that to have some confirmation of where the ball is. Like, you should know as a pitcher, and I'm not criticizing our pitchers by any means, but it's just like a mental toughness kind of thing where if the pitch is really close, almost touching the zone on the outside corner, and it's a ball on the screen, don't look up there. Great pitch.
Yeah.
You missed by half of an inch. If you watch an MLB game, they show you the decimal points and and the reason it favors the hitters is because, especially Modesto is great at this, and it's super annoying when you watch them hit. But like Osiris and Tyler Williams, they go up there and they just calmly just sit there and they just take the first pitch.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, now if it's a ball, I have the upper hand in the count. And it's it makes it, the ABS system makes it to where you definitely have to fill up the zone, and makes it difficult as a pitcher to just deceive guys, I would say. Because if the pitch is close and it's a ball, if you're a really good hitter and you have a good eye, now you know that pitch or any pitch that's further away than that is just automatically a ball for the rest of the game. It's not a buffer zone, or some of these umpires that we see on TV. Long Beach, don't want to talk a lot of smack this episode. I talked a little bit of smack last episode. But I will talk smack on the umpires.
Did you get grief for that?
No, not too much grief. I looked it back a couple times and I was like, I was a little bit negative on some points. But I will talk smack on umpires that have bad zones, because I played, it's tough. It favors the pitchers. And when we were in Long Beach, a few of our batters got hosed on really bad calls. And to where it's like, now you have us, we have ABS system. Modesto now has ABS system for the rest of the season. And
they have ABS all calls, balls and strikes?
Yeah, so Al, the guy who works for our company, went down to Modesto and set it up for him. Their guy came up and recorded me how we set it up and what goes on and stuff like that. And so he set it up to where now they have it all the games. But now, like I was going to get at is, you go from a park that has ABS, you play 6 games, 9-game homestand, and then you go to a Long Beach and it's up to the umpire.
Yeah.
And if you burn your challenges,
you're done.
You have to battle, you got to defend. It's a completely different game with ABS versus out of ABS for the hitters. So ABS pitcher favored umpires, I would imagine, hitter favored pitchers at away games for us. I would imagine they do better because they have those umpires that are going to be a little bit more iffy on the corners.
Well, you had mentioned that the last time. I really started paying attention to, and we'll get to a stat that I think you and I both agree is just killing us, the number of free passes that folks get on base and where our ball club sits compared to everybody else. But I really started paying attention to how close the pitches are that are being called a ball that are leading to the walks. And I noticed out there, I think it was Valdez, he's just missing just a little. His game is painting the corners, and I'm looking at his frustration. I know he's thinking, if I'm not here, I'm getting those calls. If I'm not here, I'm getting those calls. And now I got to alter where I'm pitching and how I go for pitching at my ballpark versus on the road. I'm going to get that call. And it forces me to come in a little bit more. And I could see there how it favors the hitter, because he was walking guys, but he was so close. It was just missing by just a fraction of an inch, and it's calls that I know he's getting on the road.
Yeah, and like if you watch the road games, like they don't show it on the scoreboard or anything like that, but you can tell, especially with like hitters' frustrations or stuff like that, if they strike out on a borderline pitch, that it's just like, at our park it's a walk.
Yeah.
And like it's a walk. And the free passes thing, I said before, it's like kind of like a bug. And like the 2 games we played against Modesto, Friday and Saturday, we didn't have the bug those 2 games. And then Sunday it seemed kind of like a bug, to where it just kind of got batoned off to the other guys.
So let's talk about that. By free passes, we're talking about walks and hit by pitch.
Yes.
And just any time where a person gets on base, either by way of a walk or a hit by pitch, and you went and looked at the numbers about where our ball club stands over the season compared to a few other ball clubs, and where are we at?
So hopefully after this we'll go into a more positive.
Yes.
Okay. So I checked a couple weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and we broke the 600 mark. And then the past 2 weeks we've now broken the 700 mark. And the math in terms of like innings pitched versus walks and hit by pitches, we're giving up almost 10 plus free bases on average a game. Now we might have a game where we only walk 4 guys, but throughout the entire season, we're pretty much giving up 2.5 free runs worth of base runners. So when you go back and look at it from a fan point, a coach point, it's just kind of like a thing where, well, do we pound the strike zone and then now our pitchers have worse ERAs or worse this, worse that? And it becomes a thing to where we're at 730 walks now and hit by pitches. And the next closest team, I think, is 40 below us when I looked up, 50 below, something like that. And then the next team is like 100 below us. So it's like we're definitely like a big step ahead of the top 10 teams in the league in terms of like pitching, in terms of free bases.
Now, what I'd like to do, and this is all analytics, and I don't have this stat, but the stat I'd like to see is, how do we compare road versus home with all of that? Because how many are we walking on average at home versus how many we're walking on average on the road, given that the strike zone is a little more hitter friendly at Bryant Field?
I personally believe that our pitchers pitch better on the road.
Yeah.
I think that since I'm at every home game, you're at every home game, we kind of have like the bias of we walk a lot of guys at home. We've played 83 games now, and we're almost at 10 walks a game. If you look at it, 83, 730, like it's nine walks a game pretty much. So I would imagine it's close to being the same here or there, but in terms of away and road, like we have a really bad road record, 9-29, and I think that comes back when I go and look at the scores. Like we only scored 2 runs, 3 runs, but then recently we just won 3 games on the road, and they hit the ball really well. And one of the games we lost was a knockout round, and it was 9-9,
yeah,
10-10, something like that. And so I think when we go on the road, it kind of plays into the factor, like you said, of like our hitters kind of struggle a little bit because we don't have ABS. And then I personally believe we don't have it to any way to pull it up, I don't think, unless you go and look at like game splits for the away games. But I really believe that our pitchers do pitch better. At least our starters normally do. And the bullpen guys are the bullpen guys. We've had a lot of guys who are doing a lot better out of the bullpen. We got Pfeiffer back and is healthy and pitched really good. I think Sean Weiss competes, but a lot of the guys get put in tough situations, and sometimes they succeed, and then other times they just kind of let the ball roll down the hill. But I do think that we're playing a lot better in the second half as a group than we were in the first half.
Well, you know, and look, what we've been talking about, and we've been focusing a lot on the pitching and walks and hits, but the games have still been very close.
Yes.
And the reason why these games have been close is we have an offense that can score with anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, our hitters can score with anybody. Let's go ahead and take a look at, you know, some of the top performers that are hitting. You talked about Zach Chamizo, but the one that I see that's been really coming on, and you mentioned, is Kirchner. He's only been with the ball club for a little over a month now, but
yeah, 29 games.
29 games, and he's already nearing the team lead in home runs. He's had several multi-home run games. Let's talk about what he's doing
in home runs.
What's that?
He's leading the team in home runs.
He's leading now?
Yeah, unless Chamizo hit one the past couple nights.
So Chamizo hit one, I think it was last night. So he's got 13 on the season, Chamizo does.
Yeah, Kirchner's got 14 on this list, and this was excluding this afternoon's game that was wrapping up.
So right now they're playing in Ogden. They're playing the Ogden Raptors. Well, I say right now, they just finished their series against the Raptors. They'll be on the road tomorrow, heading up to. They're going to Idaho Falls to start a 6-game set against the Chuckers, and against what do they do against the Ogden Raptors? Let's see, what did they do here? On the 19th, they won 12-6. Mm-hmm. That was a good game for them, trying to see who went yard in that one. Cooper Hext and Andrew Kirchner both had home runs in that game. Christian Castaneda, Isaac Nunez, Zeb Rose, all three had doubles. Just a great game for the offense there. You turn to the 20th, they ended up losing that game 20-7, and the real blowout. I don't know what happened in the bottom of the 8th inning, but that was an 11-run inning for the Raptors.
So when I looked it up, and it was just a walk thing, and I want to stop saying that so badly, but it's just one of those things where we just start walking a lot of guys, and it turns into, I think, like a 8-run inning or something like that, 8 or 9 runs in just one inning. But the thing that we have going for us is, especially 2 of the new guys are from Fullerton, Max Ortega and Eli Lopez. And one of the cooler things that happened, I don't think it was the Modesto series. I think it was the following series. But first professional AB hits a home run.
That was Eli Lopez, wasn't it?
Yeah. So Eli Lopez, first professional AB, first pitch he sees, hits a home run. And for those who are at home, or for those who haven't seen this guy yet, he's like 5'7", $175, $180, like a pretty smaller player, really fast, but just goes first pitch bomb, Wow. In his first professional hit. And the two, I was growing up West Coast baseball guy, and Fullerton was always a really good baseball school, and they always had really good baseball players. And even if those players didn't play that well in terms of their college career at the end, or they didn't have like amazing stats and they don't get drafted, like they're ball players. And the cool thing where I'm going with this is we have 7 guys now who are all hitting above 300 that are in our starting lineup.
Wow.
And Lopez is a new guy. He's only had 10 ABs, but he's got 6 hits. One of them was a home run. The Ortega guy has been really hitting well, almost 400. He had a great. I was high on him last time I was on the show. And then you got Kirchner, Chamizo, Zebrus, and Duarte. And then you have another 2 guys who are right around 300, 291, 296. And it really, I think, helps a couple of the guys who are banged up that have been getting a little bit less playing time, especially Diego Aragon. I don't know if you noticed in those 6 games we had at home, but he, I think, only caught 2 of the games.
Yeah.
And
Ortega was in a little bit more.
Yeah, but I think he's banged up a little bit. I don't know for sure, but he's caught. How many games has Diego played in? He's played in 54. And, of course, Chamizo's played in 79. But besides Castaneda, and some of these might be pinch hits, by the way, but Diego, Castaneda, Donahue, and Devin Dixon are all almost at 70 games, and Chamizo too. He's at 80 games. But like those 6 guys have played almost every game of the season. We played 83, and Chamizo's played in 79.
Well, we do have I do have some updated stats here because the second game. So what happened with Ogden's game? The game against the Raptors last night was suspended due to rain, so they finished it up today.
By the way, I forgot to tell you earlier when I went back on the broadcast and nobody really said if the game was over. They called it the last minute of the broadcast before they go to the break. It was pouring really badly, so it stopped because of lightning, but then the camera, you could tell it was dumping.
Tristan Wolf, I think, uploaded some video of him and and I think it was Devin Norton were having fun in the rain. Let's put it.
I saw that.
Running around. So they finished that game up today, and the Freebirds, I think, won that 12-9. And then they won the second game 12-9. Chamizo hit 2 home runs in the second game. So after that game,
so he's leading. He's taking the lead.
He's at 15. He's at 15 home runs. Kirchner is at 14. Kirchner homered in the first 3 games in Ogden.
He can hit, man.
But you just look at he's hitting 359 on the year. Chamizo's hitting 343. I don't know where our offense would be this season without Zach Chamizo in the lineup. I mean, he has been an anchor to the offense.
I think that there's a few guys that you could point out that we've had. And we're down to, I think, 7 or 6 remaining guys, and or 9, and 5 of those are position players, and all 5 of those position players are just the anchors of the team in terms of production and getting on base. And
who do you single out in that group?
Chamizo for sure. I'm a huge fan of Aragon. For how many games he's caught, and just he coming out of Colorado last year and Frank bringing him over, he didn't hit very well. I think 250, 260. I could be wrong. And this year he's above, almost at 300. He's hit home runs at our home park. He puts the ball in play. His big thing that Robbie, our third base coach, bench coach, got ejected one of the games we were at home, which was hilarious. Love you, Robbie. I sent him a text and he loved it. But he's been working with Diego a lot on swinging at first pitches, and so I watched a lot of Arizona Diamondback games. And their Corbin Carroll, their right fielder superstar, their big guy, he swings at first pitches all the time now. And last year he didn't. And so I think that's a thing where I never tried to really do that. But if you think about it, it's a great opportunity to make contact and put the ball in play, because the difference between you having a better average if it's a ball one or worse versus it's a strike one are very different in terms of you getting on base. And I think that's helped him out a big time. And then the hometown hero, Cooper Hex, that everybody loves. I think him and Zeb, the first couple of weeks they struggled a little bit, and we were kind of all up in the press box, and our field guy and a lot of the fans are kind of oh man, why are we still hitting these guys 1-2? Maybe our other guys should be hitting 1-2. And sure enough, like a month goes by and they're leading the team in terms of getting the game going.
I remember Cooper Hex from last year, and I was one of those that when I saw his name pop up that he is with the ball club again, I was, to the extent my 58-year-old body will let me do it. It's just metaphorically, I was doing backflips.
Yeah.
Because first off, he's got deceptive speed. He is so fast out there in the outfield. I knew that the outfield wasn't going to be an issue. Not that I really thought center field was an issue before. I just knew that we weren't going to have any decline. If anything, it was going to get better. But I also knew he could hit, and I when Kirchner came to the ball club, scuffled for the first couple of games, and then he took
Jet lag.
off. Yeah.
Jet lag. It's hard to come in and Ortega's the only guy this year who's like defeated that.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know if you remember Yamal George, the other catcher we had, but he also came in and was hot and then started to do bad. But
Kyle Carlson came in, hit 2 home runs his first 2 games of the ball club as well.
But I mean, like, in terms of, starting good and then either only getting better or just continuing to play at that high level.
But I just know that Kirchner, the first couple of games, I didn't know anything about him. But then once he settled in, it was like, great. This is great. So when Cooper Hex came in, coming over from the East Coast, because he's playing in the Frontier League, coming over from the East Coast, I had learned my lesson with Kirchner. Don't judge a person. Yes. Don't judge him on his first couple of games. So let him go a couple of games, and then he took off, and it was awesome.
I don't remember, but it depends on who we were playing too. Yeah. Because we're playing Long Beach a lot, we're playing Modesto a lot, and we touched on it earlier, like away versus home. I think the weakness also that our hitters face sometimes is there are still very good pitchers on these teams. And it might only be 1 or 2 starters per team. And again, they play 6 games. Like, we only see Eggy pitch 1 game in a homestand. We only see our guys pitch 1 game in the homestand. And they go to these other parks, and we might not have even seen this guy at our park yet in terms of pitching and doing good. And they have a sub-4 ERA. They get guys out. They're really good pitchers. And I think those are the games that we either get blown out or we lose in terms of, like, our hitters don't do well. We're probably facing one of the top 20 pitchers in the league that night, and it's just something that we're missing, so we just kind of forget to be like, oh, okay, like maybe that's why our pitchers didn't do that good that night.
I know that with Kirchner, the other thing was he started his first 2 games he was playing at first base. The 3rd game where he really started hitting, he did okay, but he played that 3rd game out in right field, and he had 3 throws over to third from right field that were like, oh my gosh.
So he played outfield in Utah this week. I'm pretty sure there was at least 2 games I tuned in for, and he was in the outfield. And I don't know if he's not allowed to play outfield at our park or just because it's a short porch in right field, so there's no reason to put him out there in terms of his arm, but
he's got a cannon.
He only plays first base for us pretty much at home. Yeah. There's only been 2 or 3 games, and we touched on it last time, but whenever it's a road trip, I see different guys at first base. And I don't see Kirchner, but he's at field. And I call him Robot, just the way he carries himself. But he's him and Chamizo, and I'd throw Aragon in that category too. They have so much confidence in the box. And Chamizo, like we said, he's played so many games this year. He's only missed 4 games, and I think 3 of those was the homestand before where he had a bad back, and they were like, no, dude, like, we just get healthy. And he's looked a little bit off, a little bit different. He had the 2 walk-offs that were great, but I mean, again, it comes down to confidence. He was 1 for 4 or 0 for 4 going into one of those, and the other one I think he was 1 for 4, and he just gets the job done when it matters. But confidence is a huge thing in the box, and I'll give Isaac Nunez some praise too. He was almost below 200 a couple weeks ago. Plays really well in the Long Beach series, plays really well at home for those 6 games, and he's almost back up to 260, something like that. I don't know if he played today and didn't do that well, but he was, I'd say, on the verge of being that Mendoza line that everybody jokes about in baseball, where if you hit like below 200, like you're just not a good hitter. And he got hot and started hitting really well, and he's really comfortable, and has a lot of confidence in the box. Maybe that's why they picked him to do the knockout round game.
Do you think that to what extent do they benefit playing at altitude in Ogden, Utah?
Well,
versus here, where it's sea level up there, they're not quite a mile high, but they're a lot higher than we are here.
My personal experience comes from Nevada.
Yeah.
And if anybody's ever been to the University of Nevada, Reno's ballpark, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Now, 500 feet, 600 feet, 800, but like once you get above, I'd say 1,000, 1,200, the ball goes another 10 plus feet. And you can tell by how fast the ball gets out of the infield. When you hit a line drive or you hit a deep fly ball, it just seems like the ball is snapping out of the air and just going, especially if it has backspin.
Yeah. Yeah, I look at the stats. I was just going based upon the offensive numbers that I saw here for the series in Ogden, and we didn't. How many people did we have? We had Missoula. The Paddleheads came in, but we didn't have anybody else who plays at altitude come into town this year, did we?
No.
Yeah. So
at the beginning of the year, we had the. That's what you said.
We had the Paddleheads come in.
We had the Paddleheads, and then the team that came in before, was it Oakland? A week and a half ago. Were they from out of town?
Oakland came in from out of town. So the only teams we've had come in from out of town have been Oakland, Modesto, Long Beach, the Mobiles. Mm-hmm. I don't think we've had anybody else, and the Paddleheads. Those are the only 5 teams we've had come in. I think.
Thought that.
We had the Boise, the Hawks.
That's the Hawks. That's the team I was thinking of.
Yeah.
So we've only had 2 teams from altitude, but even then, I don't think that their stadiums at altitude. But they didn't hit very well that series either. Their lefties pulled a few home runs and stuff like that, but they didn't really hit that series that we played in those 3 games.
Yeah. Well. What do you see from the ball club? What do you expect there? How do you think they're going to do going against the not the Raptors, but the Chuckers next week?
Remind me what they're. I don't want to have to look up on my phone, I should say, but I think they're also another team that, if I'm not mistaken, their pitching isn't that great. I could be wrong. I know the Pioneer League website, if you just go to team stats and then pitching, it'll tell you our ranks. We're, I think, 10th in pitching. I really it popped in my head earlier that we were going to get 6 wins and just sweep them and not lose a game with just how good our hitters are. I don't know if they're at elevation. I would imagine they are. But we're playing good. Almost every game but the one game this week that was a blowout has been close and competitive. And as long as our pitchers stay away from the walks and they continue to get guys out when it matters, I think that, in my mind, I think we win 6 games.
So the Chuckers, I think they may have a lot more to play for. It's the top 2 teams from the first half of the season punch their ticket to playoffs, and then the top 2 teams from the second half of the season. And if either of the top 2 teams in the first half end up in the top 2 at the second, then they go to the next teams. So you look here, the Roadsters, I think, are probably going to get into the playoffs. They lead the second half standings at 27.
You said we're playing the Chuckers, right?
And we're playing the Chuckers. They're in 4th place.
So they have the worst pitching though in the league.
Do they?
Yeah. So if on the Pioneer stats, they have the worst pitching. I don't know what ranks them, but we're 9th and they're 12th in pitching.
I think they're fighting with the Billings Mustangs for that last playoff spot, and right now they're a game behind them. So they got a lot to play for.
They do. But we talk about it all the time. The West Coast side of the league, we beat up on each other.
Yeah.
And we're the only team that's beat Modesto this entire second half. And I don't know if that's just Long Beach. They know they're in the playoffs, so they're just kind of coasting, or they're just kind of save guys, keep them healthy, and maybe they're not pitching their guys as often, something like that. But if you look at the pitching, who's played the best first half? Long Beach. Guess what rank they are? Number 1 in pitching.
Yeah.
Modesto's played the best second. Guess what rank their pitching is? Second. So I think pitching is kind of like the tail, but again, that's why I think we have a chance to beat these out-of-state teams, because this team's 12th in pitching, and then if they're playing that well, I'm sure their hitting is top 5. They're number 2 in hitting. So it's going to come down to first 1 to 20 wins.
Yeah.
I think. And it's number 9 pitching versus number 12 pitching, and number 11th hitting which I don't think says a lot because it includes all the guys that we've gotten rid of stats in this. So, but I think if you take our group right now and you put them against this team and they're hitting, I think we still have a chance to go out there and win.
So I guess the long and short of it is, if you were gonna pony up to go on the HTN network to ever watch the Freebirds on the season, it's this next week's the one you're going to want to watch.
We could beat that 54-run record game.
Yeah.
These next 6 games with how good these two offenses are, and with how struggling the bullpens are. I wouldn't be surprised. Again, I think our bullpen's gotten a lot better the past 2 weeks. Starters still, it's a flip of the coin when the starters go out there. It seems like either it's good or it's bad, or it's good and then it kind of falls apart towards the end. But they've been pitching a lot better. I do really think our bullpen's done a lot better. And if we have the lead and we get Rain on the mound, it's almost like a slam dunk.
That is, and we could probably wrap it up with just talking about what Rain Pfeiffer's done on the year coming in. And now look, the best performances that I've seen him pitching against his old ball club,
that's crazy.
The Roadsters.
I still can't wrap my head that they got rid of this guy.
Yeah.
Before they go into playoffs. I get it, they're loaded. They have the second best pitching in the league, but how is that guy not sticking around on that team going into playoffs?
I know, but you know what? I think for our pitching staff and our coaching staff, hey, your loss, our gain. We're happy to have him.
Well, so we had that 3-game stand against Modesto before we went